and they should be able to see us and hear us. So if anyone's in the chat, hello, your Adventures in Lollygagging. Long, we cannot see you at all. You have literally blended in. No, it's because you've
Hello.
rolled your seat away. That's why. So hi, we're Adventures in Lollygagging. I still have my shining. I totally forgot to change my green screen background, but I still have my shining hallway. But we're playing Mutant Year Zero tonight. We're back to it after a couple weeks, and yeah. I'll do some quick plugs. We'll go around and remember our characters, and then we'll get going. So we play a bunch of different games, often here on this channel. So if you're watching this later on like YouTube or VOD, go to twitch.tv/lollygaggers, give us a follow, and you can kind of see whenever we're playing our games and come watch us live. We play every other Monday. We play an alien game at this point. That's what we have running on our own channel, and then on the opposite Mondays, we're over on the Free League Publishing channel, where we play Lesson, like their official channel. And Free League is the company that publishes Mutant Year Zero, the game we're playing tonight. So we love them. We play a lot of their different games here. Every Thursday, we play over on Zweihander RPG's Twitch channels, where we play our Zweihander game. And periodically, you can see us like in between our Mutant Year Zero games, playing other things like Electric Bastion Land and Cobwebs, and I have a couple other things that are in the works for what we can do here as well. So that's us. So I think what we'll do is just because it's always so long between our eps now. Let's just rehash our characters once more. So I'll start with Ashley, and we'll just kind of go around based upon the layout. So Ashley, who is your character? Like, what does she do, and what does she want in life?
I'm playing Helena 7. She's our healer, and what she wants in life has gotten kind of a little twisted. She's very bloodthirsty for being the healer. She kind of killed someone outright in the very beginning of our campaign, and it's been haunting her ever since. And it's straining her familiar relationship with her sister, and her tribe, and she's well on her way to not being part of the cat tribe.
Yeah, what kind of cat are you again?
She's I don't think I established like what
I was
exact
just
type of cat
curious.
she
Yeah,
was.
I think that you have a
But
Siamese for your token.
for the picture,
Yeah.
yeah, she's a
Okay.
Siamese cat wearing like Victorian
Yeah.
dress.
If this is the first time you were listening to this, or if you're watching this later on a replay of this, Mutant Year Zero GenLab Alpha specifically is what we're playing, which is just all animal mutants. So it's basically like normal animals that have mutated over time and are now become anthropomorphic in some fashion. And they can talk and act, and they still retain all of their feral qualities as well. And so it's like a constant struggle between like their more civilized ways of living, but also like the feral that kind of takes over them. So everyone's gonna mention like what specific animal they play. All right, Long.
I'm playing McCloud 64, a youngster fox seer, and he's out here trying to get his tribe to a better place.
Okay, and what is like your primary? Don't you like you do like the scrying thing, right? That's your primary
Right.
skill. Okay. All right. So you like look into the future, you predict something, and like hopefully it comes true in your benefit or in some way. Okay. Melissa.
That's me. So I am playing Hamill 76. So I am a little weasel. Her dream started off to protect a family member that went badly in Ep 1. So her new dream lately has been to build a better trap because she is a trapper. So she's always on the lookout for new and better ways to build traps to try to help her tribe.
Okay. And Derek.
So I am playing Tchaikovsky 40, who is a old elderly chameleon. My big dream, I actually recently accomplished an old one. So my new big dream is to build a relic for my habitat that improves the lives of everyone who lives within the habitat.
Love it. Yeah.
And I'm a scavenger slash mechanic, so I collect junk and sometimes fix things.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're like a grumpy old lizard type, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Very
Chameleon?
curmudgeon-y.
Chameleon?
Chameleon, yeah.
Yeah. Right on. And Logan.
My name's Cujo 31. I'm the warrior for our tribe, kind of the main fighter of the group. First one in. My main goal originally was to kind of protect my tribe. I have a elder who kind of guided me a lot, and my enemy kind of took his spot. So my new job is to kind of lead the Badger tribe into prosperity and make sure that they don't get led astray again.
Yeah. Like we had a really big arc a few episodes back that like was all throughout the Badger tribe that featured a lot of stuff with Cujo and Hamill, and we had like a really serious standoff between your enemy, which you won. So it was a really, I think that was a really cool moment in our story.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of our story, so the last time, so this to kind of catch us up, refresh our memories. The last job you had was to recruit some folks in the Reptile tribe, which you successfully did. And then on your way back to visit Truffaut, who is the leader of your animal resistance, and who makes his like hideaway in this like crash helicopter that really only a handful of folks know the location of or know his whereabouts. It was attacked, and you all came there shortly after the attack. And long story short, he was taken by sentinels, by these watchers, these robotic watchers that like meander around the Paradise Valley that you're in, that keep you oppressed, that keep you locked in like it's a prison. And his niece, Truffaut the Younger, she Wild Paul's another world. She's going to. She thought you guys might be responsible. She wasn't really sure because she felt like something was up with it. She and Ringo attacked you, like when you first showed up, but then like you all managed to like make some sort of peace, and you made a deal. Hey, party wipe, how's it going? And you all were tasked with like kind of going and rescuing Truffaut, while she was tasked with going and trying to salvage the last remnants of the resistance before it falls apart under the absence of Truffaut. And so that's what she's doing, and you're doing this. Did you all? I can't remember. Did we take Ringo with you? Did you all bring Ringo as an ally?
We did.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Ringo is with you. I don't know if I have his token on the maps, but we'll just assume he's there. So Ringo has been coming with you. You all went to the cat tribe because the lead that you had from Wild Paul was that there was a cat by the name of Grimalkin who escaped from wherever Truffaut was taken, because Truffaut was taken into one of these forbidden zones. Underneath, somewhere in this area, there's this place called the Labyrinth, and once animals go down there, they rarely come back, and when they do, they are radically changed. They are what's called abominations now. They have no real semblance of self anymore, no real memory, and so it's like a race against time to go kind of save him. And so you are plunging deep into this, doing something that no one has done before. And so Grimalkin helped you get inside, or at least showed you a way inside. You all climb down this really long ventilation shaft from the top of the mountain near the peak cabin, and there were all these giant fans in this ventilation shaft. They weren't running. You can tell this place has been sort of abandoned for a while. And you hop down onto the first level that you felt, this walkway. And it was like this circular walkway. There were a couple different hallways. There was an elevator that one of you called, and then you heard it coming back up and was making a ridiculous racket. When you looked down this giant shaft, you saw that there was stuff moving below, like shiny stuff moving, suggesting that there is activity really far down. And then you all kind of escaped that area. You moved into what we discovered was a library. And while inside this kind of old library with all these books, you found two skeletons. And then you found a third body that at first looked like a skeleton. But as you stepped a little bit closer, it started to move. And it wasn't just bone, it was actually metal. And that's exactly where we're going to pick up. Does anyone have any questions about that? Does that sound all vaguely familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So I'm going to go ahead and give you all access to the level 1 map. So for those of you who already know how to use the Foundry thing, you know where the map should show up, upper left. Logan, if you look in your upper left corner, you should see a tab that says level 1. So you can go ahead and just click on that, and you can freely tab between any maps. You don't have to. I don't need to move you as long as you have access. And so then I need to move the streaming version over, and I'll go ahead and put us up on the big screen as well, so folks can see it. Okay. So let me just move that a little to the right. Okay.
While you're doing that, I threw in chat that I remembered that I still have a day left where I can't talk or use tools.
Oh, nice, because I totally forgot your all that kind of stuff, because we just transferred
Oh,
over,
no.
transferring over to a different system, a different place to play. So we're doing some new things. We're testing out a new system over on Foundry VTT right now, so it's awesome. All right, so let me get a little mood music going on. You tell me if you can hear this. Okay, it's going to be coming in a second. Hopefully, if it's too loud, it's not too loud. Let's see. There we go. I was playing this last night in our last game. I just really like this thing music from Tabletop Audio. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so you all are in this room, and you look around, and it's this. It has a strange contrast with some of like the metal hallways and rafters and such that you've been wandering about in for the last few minutes, and it's got like old-fashioned like wooden bookshelves and kind of really dated furniture. And I'm describing this for players, like, so this looks not like really modern stuff. This isn't something you would get from IKEA. Like, this is old school traditional stuff, like really ornate wood carvings. And you can see there's two bodies draped in like lab coats, like these white lab coats, and they got some, other odds and ends on them. There's a little table in the middle. There's some papers on top of the table. And then as Tchaikovsky steps into the corner to investigate this other body, it suddenly begins to and kind of starts to get up. And as it does, you can hear like this voice modulation start to kick in as if it's trying to talk. And it's looking directly at Tchaikovsky, and you see this weird cylindrical piece on the top of its shoulders. It's very anthropomorphic. It's got 2 arms, 2 legs, skinny metallic skeleton basically, but the top is almost like a tank. And you can see like this front film suddenly shifts, and you can see like a digitalized version of a face, and it's like it's trying to talk to you. Like it's confused. It's not immediately attacking you or anything like that. It's just kind of standing up. After a moment, it starts spouting like almost rhymes, and then finally it says, apologies, voice modulation now corrected. Oh, it is pleasure to see you again. Pleasure. You are ooh. And it kind of looks at all of you at this point, and it's just like, I recommend shave, shower as soon as possible. Your stench in appearance is beyond proper means. And it's being very polite, not attacking you. What are you all doing? Maybe not very polite. It's insulting you all.
I guess Chai would look at it and say, "Who are you?"
I am," and it'll give you like this really long alphanumerical designation, and then at the end it'll say, "But operations calls me Sprex."
Sprex, you said welcome back. Were you referring to one of us specifically, or is that just a general acknowledgement that you have?
I have been offline for inaccessible. I have not inaccessible seen operators in inaccessible amount of time.
It's like the talking fish you found.
Except this one is able to say a lot more. Chai's, well, I guess we'll ask, Sprax or Spax?
Sprax.
Sprax. Chai will ask Sprax, where exactly are we right now?
You are in the library, of course, of GenLab Alpha.
He said it. He said the name.
I said the name. Level 1.
Are there any other people here, or any more of you?
Offline, not connected to network, cannot access personnel files. Cannot access complement.
Does he have a screen at all?
What do you mean a screen?
Like a interface at all, or is he just like a humanoid robot?
He's a humanoid robot.
Okay, so no like. Okay.
Yeah, he gets up and he's like, and he kind of like goes over to like one of the shelves and kind of picks out like a book, and he starts, yes, Coleridge, one of my favorites, and starts reading like this old romantic poetry and stuff to you, and he's like, Dylan Damas, and starts just spouting poetry. Do you all enjoy poetry?
Sprax, I had a question for you. Do you know a lot about these books that are here in the library?
I can answer any questions about this wonderful library.
Do you have any books on anything that mentions the Watchers?
Watchers. Watchers. What is Watcher?
I'll mention like Sentinel and Drone and all that stuff.
Ah.
Kind of explain that to him.
Yes. What information do you want?
Where they came from, how they're built, who's behind them.
He'll kind of spout off like different like model numbers and things like that. He'll reference like different variations of drones, different variations of like sentinels. He'll talk about like the idea of like origins is sort of confusing to he's sort of having trouble with that. Like he's just not quite clear. He does, however, mention a name that keeps popping up. We are creations of Kronos. Kronos disconnected for so long. Kronos has forgotten Sprax. Sprax must have done something to disappoint Kronos. And then starts in between like your questions and stuff. So we'll continue to just spout like poetic lines. Rage against the dying, other like that.
Hamill will ask him, is your job here? Are you a librarian?
I am an assistance robot model. I assist you.
She will turn and look at everyone with
Hold
sort
on.
of an invitation. Sorry, Long, you were going to say something.
I'll just continue the line of questioning who Kronos is and if he's here at all.
Sprax just Kronos is creator. Kronos is operator of network. Sprax is disconnected from network. No access. Kronos must have been disappointed with Sprax in some way. Kronos has forgotten about Sprax. But I can assist you. That would make Kronos very happy. Will be pleased with Sprax. Will let Sprax back onto network.
Chai will just say to Sprax, well, we're all kind of new here, so if you could give us a tour or something, or just help show us around, we'd appreciate it.
And so it'll start kind of spouting off like basic information. Like it'll kind of tell you certain things on like what you can find on like level 1, what you can find on like level 2. And so like level 1, research quarters. Level 1, library. Level 1, kitchen and mess hall. Level 1, canteen. Level 2, laboratory A. Level 2, laboratory B. Level 2, sample collection. Level 2, research cells. And it'll kind of keep going down and down. At this point, I'm gonna say, McCloud, you notice something on the table as you're kind of like everyone's kind of putzing around. There's like this manila folder where there's like these different images that have been, there's different pieces of paper that kind of sprawled out. Some of it's faded yellow and not really usable. But there's one little diagram that you kind of unfold that looks pretty interesting, and you kind of notice as Sprax is describing like a certain number of things per level, and you realize it's some kind of diagram. I'll go ahead and give you all access to it at this point. So if you want to look in the journal tab, upper right hand corner, you can see there's going to be a handouts folder, and there should be a map in there that you can take a look at. I'll also show it to you directly right now.
Ooh, nice, dude.
But yeah, you start looking at this. I would say some of you have some idea of how to like read aspects of like human language, some better than others. This isn't going to require any kind of comprehend roll because it's not necessarily tech. but you can tell that like just looking, you just crawled down this really long shaft. You just hopped out, and you know that you're in a library, and like so you're looking at this McCloud while Sprax is sort of describing these different locations.
I think he's describing these on this paper. I'll show everyone the map.
So I would imagine that true foe would be kept in either cell block or laboratory or anatomical samples.
Or I mean, pretty much, he could be anywhere. They could be researching him. He could be being held up. Yeah.
Probably not in the robot center if we're trying to rule some things out.
No, he's definitely in the service center. He's getting serviced up.
I think we just probably work our way down and check out the research quarters. Hit up the kitchen. Maybe you could find some food. And then just work our way down and look for him.
Can we just ask him?
Bring
like,
this old bucket of bolts with us.
I would be happy to come and assist you. GenLab Alpha is a wonderful facility. I am very proud to be member of it. And then we'll continue to just like ramble on a lot like C-3PO and just like keep talking a little bit longer than like you would probably want them to, describing all the wonderful
Banks,
things.
what is this facility for?
This facility is for research and development.
Development of what?
For the longevity of human continuity.
Human. What do you mean by human?
Inaccessible.
Classic.
Sprax, are there any rules that we can't break or anything that'll get us into trouble that we should know about?
You make the rules, sir. You need to shave and shower, however. You are not within operating means. You are outside normal parameters for stench and cleanliness.
Maybe Kronos is a lizard if he's referring to...
What is this restricted area on this map?
That is restricted.
Inaccessible. So if you point the map, it'll refer to like a specific like alphanumerical like quadrant that makes literally no sense to you all. Like it'll just be like that is wing X25 section 309, and it's just basically like it's without context. It's just sort of gibberish.
It's restricted, but is there special access, or can we just go what?
You would have access already.
Okay.
Well, thanks for the follow, Christopher. As I break character once more, Christopher hates it when I break character when he hops into the chat.
So I want to try to ask him.
I thought you couldn't talk.
Oh,
That's true.
Oof.
Sorry,
You
bubble
don't get
burster.
any questions.
Sorry.
sad.
Well, so
face.
you can just like take a screenshot of yourself and go away for the next 2
Okay.
hours.
People headed out of the library for something else in there.
Okay. Helena, you're by the door to the library. Why don't you roll a
Yeah,
scout
I wanted to
test?
see if I notice anything outside.
last session she went feral, Christopher, and in this game when you go feral, like meaning you lose control, like you're like in like the animal portion of them takes over, there's usually some sort of negative effect, and so the negative effect for her is that she cannot speak like human words, and so she can only communicate the way an animal would through like howls and such.
And I can't use tools either because animal.
Yep.
I pushed and I made it.
Okay. You hear the sounds of like clinking outside. You hear the sounds of like something like movement. I'm just fixing this dice thing. It was bugging me.
Is it the elevator that was called by McCloud?
No, you heard the elevator. There's like something moving around outside.
Is there any way I can like peek without bringing too much attention to myself?
I'll say with that extra success, you can peek out and you can see that there are
Thousands of sentinels.
a couple drones that seem to be moving about, like flying through the air and just sort of like out on the walkway around the ventilation shaft. One of them's kind of flying up like here and there. Then you see like another one of these types of robots similar to the one that Sprax, also moving about as if they're inspecting.
Mm,
You were now like everywhere you look in here is covered in just like dust. It looks like no one's really been in here and done anything in God knows how long. It's kind of very cold as well. Like it's like the life support systems aren't really functioning. Like you're not getting any kind of heat or HVAC or anything like that. So yeah, you something likely calling the elevator probably drew
Yeah.
attention.
Helena's gonna like relay that to them and be like, we're gonna have to wait.
Chai will turn to Sprax and say, Sprax, how come drones always detain and experiment on people like us if we're operators and we have access and control?
Don't be ridiculous. Kronos would not operate on human subjects. That is absurd. Kronos is great. Kronos is magnanimous. Kronos cares only for the future of yours. Sorry, that's Jeff's mistake. Your race.
Oh, what time of day was it when we started climbing down there?
I think you guys crashed for the night, and then you went like kind of in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it took you some time to get down. Like it was not a quick climb. Like it was about 300 yards, and it was something like 10 to 15 minutes per 100-yard interval. And it probably took you about a half an hour to 45 minutes to climb down. And it was tiring.
Okay, we can give it a moment to see if the drones give up their
Alright.
search.
Why don't one of you can do this? Hamill, why don't you do it so you can be useful in some way? Why don't you go ahead?
Thanks.
I'm sorry?
I said thanks.
You shouldn't, because you're not supposed
Melissa
to.
said thanks.
Whatever. Go ahead and roll a sneak test for the group to try to keep everyone quiet.
Where did the pop-up go? There's the pop-up. Okay.
Okay, successful. Sure. So you're able to kind of give people direction, and probably about a half an hour passes before you finally don't hear any clinking of metal on metal outside, and you feel like you might be safe to kind of pop out.
We'll give it a whirl then.
Okay. So yeah, I'll go ahead and move y'all to. So you're just gonna come right back out to where you were.
Yeah, if there's no other way out here.
Okay. Are you? Sprax is like, I will come and assist you, and Ringo who's again, I don't have his token unfortunately. He's like, this is a bad idea. Like he'll say like this is bad. We shouldn't do this. But anyway, you all pop out. You should have. There we go. You all pop out at the same door that you just get in. Like that door you just came out. Right next to y'all is where, like in this sort of direction where I'm pinging. That was the library. So.
I guess we can make our way to the research quarters if we're going to explore every room floor by floor.
Mm-hmm. Right in front of you is in this area where I'm sort of hovering my cursor. That is the elevator itself, and you can see that it's up. It's up at
Did
your
Ringo
level now.
think it was a bad idea to bring Sprax, or a bad idea that we're here?
Bad idea to bring Sprax. Ringo is like, he's just very suspicious of Sprax, effectively.
Might be able to use Sprax to get out of trouble if someone else finds us.
Well, this stupid robot won't shut up. Listen to him, and he's not wrong. Sprax is just like whenever you're not asking him questions, he's either A, talking about the wonders of Kronos, B, talking about how amazing it is to work at GenLab and all the wonderful things it does, or C, reciting poetry. Like, look, just shut up. Can I just shoot now? And
No, hold on. Sprax, I have a question for you.
yes,
How do we limit the amount of talking that you do? We're new here. We're trying to take in the sights and experience it for ourselves. We don't mean to be rude.
I will be happy to narrate as you take in sights and sounds. I will tell you about history, and I will tell you about context of the...
Reduce volume by 80%.
Inaccessible. But he'll quiet down for a moment. Sure. Okay, so y'all are back out in the walkway, this like central walkway area. You know that you just came out of the library. Okay, so you're looking at the map, the map, and then like the map I made, pretty much the same. There's some of the proportions might be slightly off just to make it functional, but yeah, it's basically the same.
I think we can cover more ground if we split up a bit here. Check rooms
Oh,
separately.
geez. Calls the elevator, wants to split the party. You're chaotic.
Okay, you all have control, but I do want to say, like, if you're moving yourself on the map, then I'm considering that's what you've done, and so if that triggers something or some sort of event or whatever, then yeah. So I have the map kind of broken up into pieces so that it's easier to fit on screen, so like it's not going to be like a perfect continuous thing. So you just tell me which way you want to basically go.
I'm going towards the kitchen.
Okay, so Cujo, you get down to the kitchen. The door itself is open, it's unlocked, so I'll go ahead. I can move you if that's where you want to go, if you're looking to go there. Yeah. So you go ahead and enter into a little hallway where you see, again, there's these kind of very light, flickering lights. Is anybody going with you? Let's keep it together, guys. Let's not split too much. It's actually, that's going to be kind of a pain in the ass. So let's not split too much.
Don't split the party.
You can split. I'm just saying, like, if
You can just do,
everyone's
like,
just
two
moving
groups.
their tokens all around the map, like, in wild ways, like, I'm just going to turn it off. And, like, okay, that's it. I'm just going to stop moving around. That's
No, we all went to like the doors.
it. None of you have control any longer. I'm taking away your movement controls. Okay. So Cujo wanted to go to the kitchen. That's what I heard. It's the first thing I heard. Is anybody going with him to the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay, so Hamill, I'll move you over. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, we might as well all
Research
just
squad.
go real quick.
I'll go with Brax to research then.
I mean, Sprax's just following, like, the minute Cujo started moving, Sprax started
All right,
following
guys.
Cujo just because somebody was actually moving.
Not gonna let you split us up.
Okay.
You can't make decisions for me. I go to research center.
Okay. If that's what we want to do, I'm going to bring up. Okay, so you're in this tiny little hallway here, and you got this little flickering light above you that kind of flickers on as it comes on, and you hear Sprax kind of describe, like, where you're going. He's like, to your left is the kitchen. Straight ahead is the shared mess hall for researchers. And so you guys can control stuff. There's two different doors if you want to go to your left. So like the one on the map would be the one on the right or the one straight down. So you let me know.
Do we really want to be in here? Because I know we're on like a countdown for when Truffaut is going to be like experimented on.
Right.
Well, he hasn't got any food, so it's a good idea to pick up some supplies in the kitchen.
So which door do you want to go into?
I guess we're doing kitchen.
Okay. So you open the door up.
Hey, Adam.
Hey, Adam, thank you. Mess hall for researchers? Yes. Mess hall for researchers. All right, so you peek into the kitchen. Sorry. Sometimes the walls are kind of weird on this. So you peek into the kitchen, and it's like, just like other places you've been so far. It looks like no one's been in here for a while. As you're like pushing things open, you can see like dust kind of kick up from the floor and from like the countertops to the left and to the right as you open the door itself. It's definitely been unattended. So like you can see that it's fairly cramped, but it's certainly functional. You can see that there's like all sorts of different things that kind of hanging from the walls itself. There's a couple cabinets, a couple different machines here and there. What do you want to do? But there's no one in here. Like you come inside and you like cough a bit, and like as you come in again, like there's a little kind of motion light that kind of flickers on. But you see a couple different machines, a couple different cabinets, a couple different stuff hanging from the wall.
See if there's
Looking
anything
for grub.
edible that we can take.
Okay, where are you looking?
Like cabinets, drawers.
Okay. You start going through the cabinets, and most of the stuff in here doesn't look like it's been kept particularly well. There's some like old boxes of probably dried goods and such, but like when you look at them, there's just stuff crawling around inside of them. But you do notice that there are 4 packets of coffee that you can go ahead and add to your inventory. As you keep going through the cabinets, like one by one, until you're like kind of exhaust everything. In the last cabinet you look at, there's also kind of hidden behind this small little vase, inside of which looks to have been likely cookies or something, but they're all grinded down at this point and just turned into dust. But behind it, there's a carton of cigarettes.
We'll shove them all in Chai's pockets.
Okay.
So I have 2 cartons of cigarettes now.
Yeah, so you can drag over, and there's also like, so in the artifact section, like if you go into the items, it's not perfectly organized yet, but it's over there. You can drag over your different things. You can drag over your carton of cigarettes. You can drag over your packets of coffee. All of that you can put in your inventory at this point. There's also, like, as you're kind of writing stuff up, you can see that there's a tip over soda machine, excuse me, coffee machine, on like the bench on the north side of the room. If you recall, like earlier in the actual campaign, like a coffee machine was a very important thing for Gagarin,
Yeah, someone at
and
my
kind of
dog
worthwhile.
clubs.
So, yeah.
What is his name?
Oh, I was picturing like a really big coffee thing.
No, just like a little coffee
Like-
machine.
Like a $15 one from Walmart.
Got it. Not like a vending machine.
I'll
where
throw
you,
that
like,
in
get
the
coffee made
wagon.
for you.
Okay, yeah, so you can go ahead and add that as well. So you now have, so you're like kind of just collecting some stuff, and it looks functional. Like you think it would probably work. I'm not going to make a comprehend test because you've already interacted with the coffee machine, so you kind of know how this stuff works. But like, yeah, as you kind of look around, you notice, the last thing I would say you notice is probably Helena, like as you're standing back by the door and like the door starts to swing back closed, you can see that there's something hanging on the back of the door, and it's a healing kit. Like there's like this little first aid kit that's kind of like hanging on like the inside
Oh, I'll
of
snatch
this
that.
door. Yeah. But yeah, you've pretty much exhausted. Like you've looked around, you don't really see anything else. When you peek into the next room, when you kind of open that door and kind of start moving in, I don't know why it keeps doing that. It keeps giving me those like stupid movement messages.
Yeah, I was getting that the other night.
Yeah, it's because you have to go through like the doors, and sometimes
door,
it's
yeah.
super strict about it. But you can see that this was some kind of like dining hall. There's all sorts of plates and such that have been laid out here and there, like little bits of, not sure if it's like porcelain or ceramic or whatever it might be, but there's all sorts of plates and stuff. There's some bottles that have been tipped over, some are still standing. There's a variety of like pictures on the walls here and there, as well. But again, you don't see anybody here. There's about 10 chairs around the table, a bunch of different glasses. Some have like spilled and broken on the ground, some are still standing. You can definitely tell that like the walls themselves are kind of they're kind of like they're paintings of some kind. I don't think any of you would really know specifically, but they have kind of a consistent theme to it. And as Sprax comes in, he starts sort of pointing out the specific painters, the artists themselves. He starts describing the era of romanticism, and like he's like, and in this painting, the artist was clearly trying to convey the notion of desperation in the face of annihilation. And goes to the next one. And in this one, clearly, this artist was fascinated and fixated on his mother. And one by one, he's going around to each of the different paintings themselves.
I like to imagine they're all just the screen painting.
Hey,
I was
Brendan,
thinking
me
it
too.
was those like that series of like, workplace like determination and those kinds
No,
of,
it's not.
like-
It's not like that. No. I mean, I would say like people wise, you guys don't notice anything like that. It's like these are legit nice looking. Like these might be originals.
like something worth
My
picking up
my
and
electric
taking?
bastion land senses just kicked in. I'm like, oh, we could sell that for. Oh wait,
You definitely could have if we were in a different game. All right. So yeah,
I'm gonna turn to Sprax and say, Sprax,
yes, officer.
if your researchers or if anybody wanted to run tests or do questions on folks like us just to get information, where would they take them to here?
Level 2. There are several laboratories and samples sample labs, and there are cells for where we keep subjects. Level 2. Level
Okay.
1 researchers will be asleep at this time, possibly. You could ask them. Isn't that where you have returned from?
Well, yeah, but like I said, we're new here, so
New
we're still getting our
hires.
legs.
How wonderful. How wonderful.
So I'll turn to the group and say, all right, looks like we need to get down to level 2 somehow.
Now, you
Use
know
the
that the
elevator,
ventilation ladder kept going down. Like, the ladder that you all climb down goes down, and
Oh,
then there's the
okay, cool.
elevator as well. So, like, you have 2 ways down. It just depends on which one you want.
Okay. I'm all for being quiet, so I probably will take the ladder since it won't make the screeching metal sounds like the elevator will.
Mhm.
So if you move back out, I'll move you all. I'll move your tokens. I have to jump you from room to room again. I'm just trying to make it like visible for everybody. I just threw Cujo down a vent. Sorry, Cujo, you're dead. You just fell 300 yards to the bottom of the thing. Okay, so you come back out
God.
here. You come back out here on this big old circle again. It's this kind of like circular walkway, and so there's a couple different ways you can go. Like you can like to the south, like this door goes somewhere. You saw as well at the elevator, which is up to the north, like the northeast of the circle. Basically, you can go down. The ladder was kind of on the northwest of the circle. So there's a couple different options you have. You do know that there's at least one area you haven't kind of explored on this level, if that matters. But if you're looking for the ladder, it's just to the northwest. Like we're around like 10, 11 o'clock around the circle.
Do we want to peek into the research section real quick, or do we want to leave? Because it seems like researcher quarters, so it'll be like private rooms.
Yeah, let's go down a level.
Okay, let's go.
How are we
Lead
going to
the
get
way.
100% completion if we're not exploring all the rooms?
I know that's like the one drawback. We know we have a ticking clock, but there's rooms
Yeah.
that we haven't looked in.
Imagine all the other artifacts that we could find and those other things.
We can go down the ladder.
Yep.
Okay. So you all start heading in the direction of the ladder. You guys can just move yourselves around around there if you want. That's fine. But if you're looking to climb down, no big deal. So you hop on the ladder itself. Go ahead and roll a little endure test as you begin to kind of climb back down. Ringo's like, "Why are we going down ladder? Perfectly good lift. We could. This is ridiculous. You all always want to do things the hard way. This is absolutely absurd." And Sprax is also like, "Yes, this is peculiar, but I have the ability to move. I am ambulatory once more. I still cannot connect to Kronos. Great Kronos, why have you forsaken me? But I shall lead you all to level 2, and perhaps I shall once again be reconnected to the network." Okay. So I'll go ahead and open up level 2 for you now. Different map, but it looks fairly similar. So you can go ahead and switch over to level 2 now. And it looks almost exactly the same as you pop out onto this, once more, it's like this circular walkway. And you can see there's the same sort of deal, flickering lights. When you're in the hallways around here, it's kind of cold and sort of sterile. You hear you don't really hear much. You hear the distant sounds of like drills and whatnot, but like you can't tell if it's coming from this level or if it's coming from up from the ventilation shaft. Did anybody fail that roll, by the way?
Yeah, I did, but maybe I can use that extra.
Yeah, Logan had 2 extra successes, and I
Yeah.
had 1 extra success.
Okay, then everyone's covered. No problem. Okay, so you all start moving around. So you get here, and it's got the same basic layout. You can kind of tell from looking at the map that you picked up in the library that there's a couple different places you can go. It's just a question. Why don't you just tell me like which place you're looking to go, so I can keep it kind of controlled on the screen.
Laboratory A.
Yeah, you can start alphabetically.
Okay, so you start moving around, and again, you can look up and you can kind of see the ventilation shaft. Like the elevator's still up there. You kind of look down really quickly as you're climbing, and you can see there's still sort of movement. You might at one point see like a tiny little glint of light kind of kick off kick off like something perhaps flying in the shaft. You wonder if it might be a drone. So you know that they're not completely unaware of you, but they just haven't necessarily figured out where you are. But they heard the elevator. You can tell with great certainty that they heard the elevator. So you want to go into laboratory A. So let me I'll move you all so we can keep this a little bit controlled and organized. So you move through the door that you think is laboratory A, and you can see, like, again, another hallway with this kind of flickering lights. And this time, however, you can tell that it's a little bit warmer in here than in some of the other places that you've gone thus far. Like, you can tell that there's kind of you can almost feel like air kind of coming through some of the vents in this hallway. When you look ahead, you can see that so you came in through like this door to the north that I have on the map, and you can see that there's these two doors on the left, and both of which are currently closed. What would you like to do?
Do we hear anything coming from the doors?
Roll a scout test.
God, I just closed it. Oops.
Can we all roll? Or just her?
I would say let's just limit it to 2.
I have a total dice pool of 8 for scout.
Do
Go right ahead.
Okay. So that's 2 successes. So you pushed.
I failed.
Yeah, I don't know if it automatically assigns like the sort of the damage that you take from in this case it would be fatigue that you would take from pushing that. So just double check and make sure that you're recording it, because since you push, you should take that. So Chai, you listen. You kind of move up, kind of close. Listen to the first door. And with how many successes?
I had 2.
Okay, I'll say 1 for each door then. So this first door you can hear. So it sounds like you can definitely hear there's someone in there. It sounds like someone's kind of snoring. And then in the second door, when you come up, you can hear. And you hear sounds of like suddenly a saw. And then you hear a drill, whatever the hell a drill sounds like, all that kind of stuff.
I don't suppose I could roll like a comprehend check to see. So like being an animal and living around animals, the snoring and breathing of the life form that I heard, would I be able to tell how big it is? Because like a bear snoring is going to sound very different from like a dog.
I'll give it to you. I mean, it does not sound like a bear snoring.
Okay. So I'll just relay authority. Something's asleep in there. It does not sound like true foe. It's too small. Or it doesn't sound like a bear. And there's a robot freaking out in the other room. I don't think we should go in that one. So which is the first one? Oh, okay. I did not mean to open that door.
The door open. It's happening.
I meant to. I just was trying to put the little marker.
This is why we can't have nice things. But you go inside, and this happens. So you open the door, and you look inside, and it's a very dark room. You see no lights click on when you come in, but there's enough light from the sort of the hallway itself that's leaking into this room itself. You can see that there are a variety of beds, bunks that have been dispersed throughout the room here and there. Looks like there's a total of 4. 3 of them look to be empty. One of them has an unclothed mutant badger that is seemingly in a very deep sleep. And as you open the door, you can hear it gets even louder, and it's coming directly from that badger. You also notice that there are a variety of cabinets and such on the north side of the room, and some of which have a kind of glass panels on the doors, some of which have metal panels on the doors, but there's a handful of those cabinets itself. You can see that there's some kind of stand that's next to this badger, and there's wires that are sort of attaching from this stand into their arm, and there's like a bag that's got some kind of clear liquid.
I did not know that hovering over the door to put the marker down would do that. Sorry about that.
It's all good. Don't worry about
Let's. Can I sneak up on it without waking it up?
it.
Do I need to roll sneak for that, or is he pretty dead asleep? that I
He
can just
seems
kinda
pretty out of
tiptoe?
it. You step a couple steps over there, and yeah, they seem pretty out of it. Yeah. Do you want to try to wake them up, or do you want to just?
I feel like we could question him.
Okay. You go up and you start to.
Why are you asleep?
You start to shake the foot of.
I'm gonna cover his mouth though when I'm doing
Okay.
this.
And are you like suffocating them, or are you
No,
just,
This is
making sure he can't like scream out for help.
as you place your hand over top of the mouth, you realize you know who this is. Like, you are from the Badger tribe. This is the name. The name of this person is Hejduk, and it's a hunter. A competent hunter, kind of keeps to themselves a bit, isn't the most boisterous. Definitely didn't run with like kind of the bad crowd. Kind of just seemed like a decent person. And in all of the craziness that's happened over the course of the last month or so, as like the leadership of the Badger tribe has been overtaken, as Chelios, your nemesis, kind of rose to power. It was kind of overlooked that Hejduk has actually been missing for a little bit, and yeah, he's just sort of there. And you shake him a little bit, poke him. Doesn't seem to want to get up. Let me do a quick roll.
Can I check the whatever things attached to him? Do like a medical roll maybe? See if I've read of it somewhere, like what it possibly could be.
Sure, but I would say, yeah, go ahead, roll it if you want to learn something. That's fine. Let me see if I can get this to work. 6 times 10. Oh, by the way, you need to figure out how many skill ranks you have in heal.
Oh, that's because
You
if
had, like,
I'm
10.
healing someone, it's
Okay.
if I'm healing someone, I get extra if it's because of my surgeon thing.
Okay. Hang on. Just noticed that I think I heard. Did you guys just hear dice roll? That I turned it
Yes.
off.
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
I did.
I'm gonna turn that off again.
It was a familiar sound, something I hadn't heard in a while.
Shh. You're not supposed to talk. Did you pass?
Yeah, I did.
I would say that it's likely something like you can probably conclude that whatever is kind of going into them, it's you probably wouldn't know the word specifically, but it's medicine of some kind, and it's probably not harming them. It's probably helping them in some way. You look on his body, and he's got a couple wounds here and there, stitches, as if somebody has kind of given him like some sort of surgery lately, but in terms of like the specific type of meds, I don't know if you would be entirely familiar, and it might dawn on you that maybe this might have something to do with him being knocked out, or who knows.
I think that's the main thing I was looking for, to see if I
Okay.
could recognize this as keeping him asleep or not.
Okay, so you can, like, if you want, you can disconnect him. You would know that disconnecting him from this, it wouldn't threaten his life.
Okay, then I would do it.
Okay, so yeah, you got him disconnected, and he's roughly the same size as Cujo. Ain't got no clothes on, but yeah, you would know that. Yeah, he's a decent guy. He went missing, and a couple people mentioned it, but then everyone kind of forgot about it because of everything that was transpiring in the Badger tribe.
So he's not waking up.
He's not waking up currently. You shake him, you cover his mouth, you pinch him. Someone shoots him. Just doesn't work. He's still
If
sleeping.
we give him some coffee.
Make him snort it. Just pour it down his incapacitated throat. That'll wake him right up.
Should we
Um,
peek in the other room and see what that robot's doing, or like who it might be performing something on?
Why don't you go click on that door and find out?
I'm the healer,
Yeah.
so no thanks.
In your intro, Logan, I thought you were like, so, I'm up front. I'm the first one in.
I mean, I feel like I've been doing a lot, so I was trying to let other people make some choices, but I can open up the door if you guys want me to.
I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't want to fight anything and draw more attention to us.
All right, so then we move on to the next lab, or we go to the holding area.
See you later, Christopher.
Those are our 3 choices.
Oh yeah, I guess the hallway doesn't continue on, so I guess we try lab B then.
So as you're moving away from the door, Cujo, you continue. You hear like that, zzzz, and that like kind of fizzles out, and then you hear like a scream of some kind. You guys
Hamill's
can-
running around right by the door. Like, she's just hanging out right by the door.
All right, Hamill, open that door then.
Yeah, chicken.
I thought she was a weasel.
I don't
I
know.
am
She's
a
acting a
weasel.
lot. Oh, it's open. That means it's
Ah.
legit. This is happening. All right, so you open the door. No one move anywhere else. That's it. It's done. We're locked in. This is initiative time. So you
Okay.
open the door, and you can see that there is this kind of warm, brightly lit room, or at the very least, the very center of the room, there's a very heavy and bright light that's pointing directly towards this bed, on which lies, you think, some sort of animal, some sort of creature. It's hard to see because there are 3 robotic creatures standing around. You can see one of them has a saw kind of going on. One of them has like a little injector thing, like a little scalpel. There's blood all over the place on the floor, kind of drifting off into these different veins. Around, there's a variety of machines and cabinets and such. And we're going to go ahead and go into initiative at this point as the door opens up and they turn and look and they say, "Halt! You are not permitted in here." And you hear Sprax be like, "Oh shit," and starts to back away. So go ahead and roll initiative. There's no special initiative button, so just go ahead and roll a d6, and you can add your agility to it, your current agility, and that's what we'll kind of do for tiebreakers and things. I'm gonna go ahead and get you all.
Oh, okay. I see it now. It's plus an amount, not how many d6 it is. So mine would be +4, so I would have 5.
Oh, and I got music for this too. This is why. Okay, here we go. Let's switch this over. This is the spooky going around music. This is the oh crap, like something bad's about to happen. Or not? No, it's fighting's happening. We're about to throw down. That's what I
Oh,
meant.
mine should be 8.
Oh, should it?
Yeah, because I didn't add my 4 for my agility.
No. What I mean by that, I meant more like we did when we did on Roll20, where we made it a decimal. Is what I was thinking.
Oh, so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't have.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. I'm just going to. I can't edit it. Never mind. I'm not going to use the initiative tracker. We'll just kind of go the old-fashioned way because I haven't set it up yet. That was stupid of me.
Okay.
All right. So just give me your number that you rolled. Point whatever your agility score is. So
1.4.
Logan's 1.4. Melissa.
1 second, I gotta scroll back up past all these other things.
Okay. Ashley, what are you at?
4.4.
Thank you.
4.5.
4.5. Then we got Long. What do you got?
6.4.
And then Derek.
Also 6.4.
Okay. You guys can both roll d6s, and whoever gets higher can go first. So, hey Chuck, what's going on? Aren't you supposed to be playing something right now? Aren't you supposed to be playing some D&D or something? All right, so I'm gonna roll 3d6s, 2, 3. I'm gonna make these public now. Oh yeah, you guys haven't started yet. Okay. So 1, 2. So this is like the new Foundry thing. I don't have like the encounter stuff set up yet, but I have a lot of other stuff set up. So still a lot of work to do on it, but God, it's just so much smoother. I like it so much better. It's just wonderful. All right, on. Yeah, if we're around tonight, yeah, I'll probably hop in. All right, so who's going first between Chai and McCloud? Looks like Chai is.
I think I am.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. And then mine. Just getting the order for mine. So 3 point. Okay, so the first to go is going to be Tchaikovsky. As the door swings open, and you can see the light just suddenly floods out into the hallway. This big, bright light. See you later, Chuck. And you can see that there's 3 very clear watchers who are not friendly and nice, and they immediately turn to you all, and they say, "Halt, intruders!" And they make motions as if they're going to start coming towards you. And you can see that there is a poor, unfortunate animal on top of this platform in front of them, blood spouting all over the place. What would you like to do? You're up first.
So
Johnny.
is the animal like dead, or are they like killing it?
No, it looks like they're performing some sort of surgery.
It called out in pain when we were walking away.
Yeah. The only person who's actually in the room currently is Cujo, but you have an angle that you would probably be able to see it.
Well, that kind of puts a hole in my plan. I was just going to throw the frag grenade in there and finally use it.
You're gonna kill everything?
It
I mean,
makes
I don't
so
wanna
much
fight.
noise.
Well, we already opened the door. I don't know, man.
Just throw the grenade in there anyway, man.
I don't
That's
want
a
to
three. That's a three. That's 3 for 2 trade.
Well, no, I mean, you'll be fine. I'm more concerned about the badger being operated on.
Do you
Throw
think
the
I would
grenade
be
in
fine?
there, close the door, and just move
Yeah,
on.
it'll be like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
All right. So what do you want
I'll
to do?
just shoot the one that's closest. Let's see. There we go.
Okay.
I'll just shoot that with an arrow.
Okay. So you have quickfire, right?
Yes.
So you don't have to prep it. So you still got your remember if everyone forgets, you get a maneuver and an action. Okay, so maneuver. So maneuver is usually a move or a load or something like that. And then
I'm
the
assuming that
action-
explosion symbol's bad on the black die.
Yes. So that is a 1. No, actually no, it's not. I'm sorry. That is I can't remember.
But that's like if I were to push the roll, it would
if you were to
damage
push-
my gear, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
If you were to push it, it would damage your gear. Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. So you have 1 success and you've got 2 fails. Are you satisfied, or did you want to push?
No, I'm not going to push that. I want to damage my bow.
Okay, so what's your base? What's the base damage on the bow?
It is 1.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll its armor, and I'm gonna give it kind of +1 kind of cover since you're shooting through a door and a friend at the same time trying to get in there. So it's gonna be I'm just gonna treat it as 4 armor instead of 3. Sorry, wrong button. There we go.
That's a lot of armor.
And it did not absorb any. And so you said how much damage was it?
Just 1.
Okay, so just 1 point of damage. All right. Okay. So then next up, it's going to be McCloud. Also, you can move if you wanted to before McCloud goes. If you wanted to do anything, Chai, if you wanted to get out of the way or move to a different location. Okay.
Yeah, I'll move down out of the way.
McCloud, your turn.
All right, I'm gonna run after the arrow.
Okay.
The robot that got hit by it,
All right. Maneuver is you're gonna move into the room. Okay, sounds good.
and then strike with my machete.
Okay.
Here we go. I will push.
Go for it.
Impressive.
So you've gotten 2 fails. Okay, so go ahead and drop the bonus, the gear bonus of your weapon by 1, since you pushed. And then also you need to take 1 point of physical damage. So take a point off your strength.
All right,
So I got to get used
that's a
to
turn.
doing these again. That was a great turn as you come running in, and you hear like this weird little robotic chuckle. Oh, thanks, Adam. Thanks for the sub. All right, so next up, 6.4, it'll be one of them. Actually, it gets to go next with a 5.3. So you're going to see the one on the south side. They're going to come hustling around, and they're going to come up and stand right in front of McCloud. Then I think it's going to... You see like this long saw on its hand and its arm, zzz, and it's going to suddenly kick into gear, and it's going to make that sound, and it's going to come down onto McCloud. So that'll be my action. So I'm going to attack. That's a fail. So I can't remember if I'm allowed to push in this game, because I know Vesson I'm not supposed to with NPCs or some other things, but I will.
I think you can. You
Cool.
have usually.
So go ahead and take. So that's 1 success at the expense of 1 damage.
I'm gonna use my furry animal power.
Okay.
Spend 1 FP to reduce the damage by 1.
Okay. So take 2 damage.
Holy.
Yeah. Bone saw. It literally just did a rotating saw and cut through your body. The fur helps reduce by 1. Okay. So then next up looks like
roll D6.
D6s.
Just for however many points you used.
Yeah,
You
just
roll
one.
that many
I think
D6.
so.
yeah, feral.
6 is good or bad?
6s are good.
Yeah, it's the ones that are bad. Okay. So next up, it's going to be Melissa. So go ahead there, Hamill.
So Hamill is going to I'll just try to like all she really has is stones and a sling and a knife. So that's going to be problematic for her
Okay.
right now.
Throw the grenade.
Wait, I have the EMP gun, which I
Yes,
can't
you
use
have
'cause
the
it's a tool.
What's that?
I have the EMP gun, but I can't use it because it's. I would imagine it's a tool.
I don't. I think that makes sense. I don't see why if you're not allowed to use a freaking screwdriver, you can't.
Yeah, I can use an EMP.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So what I would probably do with my turn maybe is wherever I've had this EMP gun, I'm just gonna like just hand it over to.
Okay. We'll treat it like a maneuver. If you're trying to give it to somebody, I'll treat that as a maneuver. If you want to like right now you're next to Helena, so if you wanted to give it to Helena, like I would say it's a maneuver. Otherwise, if you wanted to give it to like Chai, I would say
Yeah, I'll move to Chai and give it to Chai.
All right, so that's your turn. Okay, and then Helena is your turn.
I would like to shoot with my crossbow.
Okay, you're gonna have to move to get an angle because right now you're shooting, and it's also going to be kind of difficult because the door is kind of blocked right now by both McCloud and Cujo, so they're going to get bonuses basically. But you can certainly attempt to do it.
Okay. So do I click the weapon itself?
Yes,
then?
click the weapon
Okay.
itself.
2 successes.
All right, so I'll go ahead and roll some of its armor.
Does the damage number that come up mean anything? Like I notice it changes. Sometimes it says 2, sometimes it says 3. Like is it counting something or is it?
Yeah, well, crossbow. I think it's assuming that you're going to spend the extra success on damage. So that's a note I should probably give them. Is that
Because
that's
you
not
might not
necessarily the
spend it.
case. Right.
Yeah.
So the base damage of a crossbow
Is 2.
Is 2, and so plus the 1, which I'm assuming this is what you're doing. So
Yeah.
it's not going to do any sort of it's not going to be able to block it whatsoever. So you're going to go ahead and get a shot off, and that'll do damage to it. Checking its strength. Okay. So then after that,
And I wanted to the bone saw one.
yeah,
If I need to specify
that's fine.
that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so you're gonna see that one's going to take a shot like in its shoulder, and like the arm suddenly is kind of going limp, and you can see it seems to be like kind of glitching out at this point. So then it'll be next up. It's going to be the one on the right. So this one over here that I'm now pinging is going to move up, and this one's got a scalpel in its hand. And it's going to attempt to scalpel Cujo, I think.
All right, I'll defend.
Okay, so here we go.
Do they look like they would be like susceptible to like water?
Dump some water on him. Find out.
Hey Dave, how's it going, man? Aren't you doing Flames of Freedom tonight? Or no, was that last night? I can't remember. You were doing Flames at some point. Thank you for those bits, man. That's a success. So go ahead and roll your fight to defend. Okay, so you'll be able to cancel one. Lots of combat, huh? So you'll be able to cancel out one of those successes, which means since it only had one success, that doesn't go through, and you're good to go. And then after that, it'll be your turn, Cujo. So you just use your action to defend. So you should still have your maneuver if you want to do something.
I guess that'd probably be more of an action. I can't really do much, so I guess I'll just ready my armor. I guess that's
okay. You can do something like
you
can try to take cover or something. Like you can try to step out and use the door as cover, like pull it towards you or something like that.
I was gonna say I want to like kick McCloud out and then like position myself between all of them, but
okay.
I don't think that's.
Yeah, probably not.
So I mean, I'll just pass.
All right, and so the last one's gonna go, and that is the one right here. And so it's so clogged in this little area that it's just gonna go ahead and stay where it's at, and it's going to try to attack. And you can see that both of its hands, one of them's got like this, again, the saw along down the arm, and another one's got like some sort of injection device, and it's kind of trying to decide between which one to use, and it's like, and you see as a saw begins to kind of come down on McCloud.
Rest in peace, Fox man.
That's 3 successes.
Oh my god.
So, yeah. Don't forget, you could defend if you wanted to sacrifice your next turn. Technically, you're supposed to call it out like Logan did before I roll.
Yeah, I knew that. I was gonna call it out.
Okay, so 5 damage. How's that working for you?
Yeah, I'm at -4.
Okay, so go ahead and roll so you want to.
So you're broken and you roll a critical injury.
Yeah, we're gonna do a critical injury, but there's like a way to do it. I got it. It's roll. What is it again? D6 times 10. So let's roll. Yeah, roll 1d6 times 10. I think is the equation. Okay, so it's a 30. So let me pull up the critical injuries table. So a 30 is not.
And then don't you have to like roll another one?
Wait
Isn't like a D10 or something on top of that?
Hang on one second. It's 1d6. No, it's 1d6 times 30 plus another d6. So then I got to do that. Sorry, what'd you say, Logan?
That's what I was trying to say. I think there's another.
There's the next second step to it. All right.
Yeah.
So this saw just cuts down. You managed to dodge out of the way of it, your torso, but like it catches your leg and it just cuts through the bone in the leg. You have a broken leg. It is not lethal. However, the effect is going to be you have -2 to move and sneak rolls, and yeah.
Okay.
And
Thanks for the bits there, Derek. Jeez. So yeah, there you go. You have a broken leg, and then there's just blood all over the place of this poor little fox. And that'll be the end of that round. We come back up to the top, and Derek, it's you once more. It's your turn. Because we're cheer. I don't think the last cheer came through.
I know. I noticed, and I'll have to send another one in.
Yeah.
All right. Do I need to roll a comprehend for like shooting? I'm assuming this EMP gun is just like a regular gun. It's got like a trigger.
I think somebody has already rolled at a comprehend roll on that.
Okay.
So yeah. So I'll say like, it's been so long since we played. Like you can go ahead and roll it. I think you have pretty high comprehend, don't you?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a comprehend just to be sure, because I think it was handed over to Hamill because she had the highest shoot. Okay. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I gotta take the 2, but yeah, you got it. So you know how to use it.
Okay. So then I'll shoot. It was the top one who took the most damage so far, right? From the crossbow.
The
Are
one.
you shooting the EMP?
Yeah, I'm using the EMP rifle.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
So
actually
it should
the
just go
one.
into the room, right?
The one
Yeah, it's
right
long
ins-
range.
Yeah, the one right inside, right on the opposite side of McCloud in the middle is the
Oh,
one that
okay.
that got hit by the crossbow.
Gotcha. So then I'll shoot that one with the EMP gun. What is the gear bonus from the gun?
Plus
I don't
3.
have the
It
stats.
should be a
okay,
plus
thank
3.
you.
I think I put it in the journals.
Gee,
It's
only
on
one
the
success.
it's on the item. You could just drag the item into your sheet.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Okay.
Okay.
Well, one success.
All right. That's still enough to this one just goes, and this one is
So
completely powered down.
Is this a range thing? Because it says it's long range and it's damage 3 against robots and electronic devices.
Yes.
So is it like a one thing you target or just everybody in the long range?
It's whatever you
Like-
target. It's a gun. Like you're shooting.
So it's not a burst.
You're targeting something, but if you
Okay,
it's
that's
if,
what I was
if you
asking.
use the gun to shoot robots or electronics, you get bonus damage to it. So technically, he did like 4 damage to that, or 3 damage, something like that. So, but that a 1 was actually enough to destroy it. So you've overkilled it. So it's the one in the middle is completely shut down. You can see it's starting to glitch, and then it just utterly powers down. All of the lights, that kind of same sort of facial light that you see with Sprax, kind of powers down, and it just becomes dark and immobile. So this one is done. Okay, so who? So that was Derek. So then it becomes
McCloud should be next.
McCloud's turn. Who you are broken, so you can't do anything other than like crawl away or ask for
Yeah,
help
but-
or some shit.
Get out of
Crawl
there,
to
Longley.
Crawl to me.
Okay, so we'll say you crawl out into the hallway. You said you wanted to crawl to Helena. Yeah, we'll say that's fine. You can crawl out. They take all sorts of
Okay.
opportunity attacks. I'm just gonna go ahead and take that one off the map so we don't have to deal with it anymore.
They did a combination coup de grace.
And then
Oh God.
that one was the one that would have just gone. So that one's dead. And so the next person up is Hamill.
I just want to stay back. I just have stones that I can throw in, so
Stick
try.
some stones.
I'll
Okay.
try throwing some stones. I guess I'll spend a couple of feral points for hunter instincts to target something.
Okay.
So I'm gonna spend 3 total.
You're gonna go double feral.
Oh, I'm already feral though.
Yeah, can you not? Can you still?
It's a tool, I think. So I'll hang back. It's fine.
What is it?
Try.
Hunter's instincts is a tool.
No, Hunter's
It's a
instincts
trait,
is a
right?
talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I just didn't know.
It's
if
not
I
an
can
item.
still-
It's literally
stuff
like
around.
using anything that would be like a human product. So like a coffee machine,
Okay.
right? You know, a microwave, a flashlight, stuff like that.
Got it. All right, let me roll my. 1 is bad.
Yeah, 1 is bad.
One is bad, and you get the maximum time.
Okay.
No, she got us option 6.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The next
So-
one is time.
You got it up?
She connects with her inner beast, and for a moment, it acts in perfect harmony with your human side. You regain the FP you just spent, and can immediately, in the same turn, activate the same power again, with the same purpose as the first time or another. So you
Oh.
you get your animal points back, and you can use it again for free.
Yep.
Without
Nice.
having to roll.
Okay. So,
Well, that's fantastic.
all right, now what do you want to do?
So I am targeting with the sling. Find the pop-up. All right. So me and my little sling did 3 damage.
Which one did you target?
Whatever one that was closest. The
by-
one on the north side.
The one by Cujo? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So it's going to roll its armor. And no. No. So all that goes through, and you manage to pinpoint the perfect space in its neck, and you can see that its head just kind of goes powers down, and that one
Oh,
also.
damn.
Yeah.
Look at me, my little stones.
So there's only one more that seems to be left functional. And this time it's going to be Ashley, so go ahead for Helena. Helena's up.
Get in there and
It's
heal that
time
badger
to
boy.
heal. So
Let Longley
it's-
bleed out. We got to save this rando in here.
No. So I can modify blood +2 because you're broken by damage. So I'm back up to 6 instead of 4.
This is just a roll to get him up from broken, and you need 1 success to do that, and then additional successes you can spend on heal. So he is no longer broken.
Yep.
Okay, did you want to push that for more?
No.
Okay. So you're no longer broken. Take a strength back.
And then I do have a health potion that I will. Can I also do that in the same turn, or is that too much?
I'll say maneuver, since he's right next to you. You can drop him the potion. He'll have to take it on his turn, though.
Okay.
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 So then that was for that one's gone too. So it looks like the next person to go is going to be you, Cujo.
Alrighty, I'm just gonna walk up and try and smash his head in.
All right, go for it. So you step up, maneuver. Yeah, it's not going to defend because that's boring. Okay. You want to push?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Jesus.
Wow, man. All right.
Alright, I'll take
it.
the one.
Okay. And then it'll be its turn, and you walked right next to it, so it'll and it'll go ahead and it will.
Yeah, I'll defend as well.
Okay, so you use up your turn for the next round if
Yep.
we get that far. So Bonesaw once more. It'll succeed once.
That's a fail.
Oh, I'm sorry. That is a fail. Good call. Thank you. I have to get used to these symbols. 'Cause I'm stupid. Yeah, that's fine. It's just, I don't think it makes sense for them to push. All right, so it'll come around to the top of the round again, and it'll be Derek. So Tchaikovsky.
All right. Yeah.
I think I still get to defend though, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, because
still
you
get
can
to
always
roll.
do counterattack. Yeah. Roll your defense.
Holy smokes! I can. Oh, thank you.
So you can do
All right.
your one. So you can basically do a point of damage to it if you want.
You said it has a weapon?
It's like their arms are weapons. Like they're literally like their arms are actual weapons. It's not like they're holding anything.
Okay. Then
It's like go gadget stuff.
yeah, I'll just counterattack. So I deal 2 damage.
Okay, so because you have the +1 from the
Weapon master.
Yeah, weapon master. Okay.
Yeah.
It's still up. Tchaikovsky. So you move in. What are you doing?
Yep. Moving, and I'm just going to shoot it with the EMP rifle.
Okay, so you step up. Okay. And
Yikes.
with one's enough though. Remember, this is going to do bonus damage to the robot.
Yeah,
and
just don't push it.
You.
No, I know. I'm just looking at all the gear dice.
Yeah. Well, the gear dice aren't going to matter unless you were to push it. If you push it, you would have literally
No,
just
yeah,
broke
I know.
the EMP rifle.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
Do
good
you want
God.
to push it?
No.
Okay, so this thing breaks down as well. So all 3 of them now, I'm just going to move them. Like they're all kind of depowered or broken into pieces. But effectively, the fight is now over. You made a little bit of noise, but the fight ended pretty quickly. What do y'all want to do?
I want to
So
go stabilize
Chai-
that guy.
Yeah, Chai's gonna say, Helena, can you help this badger? And then Chai being the
When you
the
get close,
scavenger.
you realize it's not a badger, in fact. It's actually a weasel.
What does
It's
the
it.
weasel look like?
I'm sorry, what? I can't hear you. Hamill, you step in. Cujo, you would recognize him as well, probably. It is Hamilton.
Ooh!
Yay!
Someone stop the
Nice.
bleeding. It's spurting everywhere.
However, it's something doesn't look right about him.
Oh,
You can see that
he's been here for a while.
there are all sorts of cuts. So for those watching or those watching this later, Hamilton is her brother. Was her brother. But you can see there's all sorts of cuts and sutures, some of which are fresh. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this like combat music and switch back. But there's all sorts of like cuts and sutures, some that have been stitched and restitched. You can see that there's all sorts of different electronic equipment, mechanical equipment that have been kind of put on top of them. You can see like sticking out of their skin and their fur. You can see that their head has kind of like the cranium itself has been opened, and there's like this entirely clear dome that's filling out the rest of the head. Yeah, it just doesn't look good. I mean, there's a ton of incisions, there's a ton of cuts, and it's some recent, some have been there for a long time, and
Hamill's gonna be just spinning around Helena, just seeing what she could possibly do to help him. Just sort of.
okay. You can roll a heal test if you want.
I got 1 success.
Okay, so yeah, you're able to, we'll say you carefully remove some of the different contraptions, the clamps and stuff, kind of suture up, use whatever ingredients you had to make sure, like little staples, and then after a couple moments you feel like, okay, there are hearts beating, you can hear the heartbeat, you can kind of feel like the pulsing of blood. They seem to be alive, but they don't seem to be conscious.
Is there, because he's small, right?
Yep.
Is there
I would
any
say probably
way...
bigger than Hamill, since Hamill is quite literally small. She took the talent, so we'll say Hamill's a little bit bigger. Hamilton's a little bit bigger than Hamill.
Is there any one of us that we could like put him in like a baby sling? You know?
Like a baby Bjorn. It's coming
Yeah.
back. Every single game I'm in has a baby Bjorn. I mean, people can
Really?
carry him, sure. DCC Hexcrawl has one. We have one. Yeah, we have all over the place baby Bjorns.
Yeah, I just want to see if like maybe like go into the other room and get like some of the sheets or something, and then use that and make like a.
Yeah, whoever's gonna do it, you're gonna get a hit towards your encumbrance. So I'm gonna treat him like a heavy item. So that's basically 2 towards your encumbrance limit.
You can strap him to me.
I could as well, because my encumbrance limit is only 2.5. Or I have 2.5, and my thing is.
You probably have more than that. I haven't put everything in, and I'm not sure that like the rations and stuff is calculating properly. So I gotta like double check some things. But I'll say.
Oh, okay.
I'll say whoever's going to carry him, it's totally fine, but I'm going to periodically ask probably for an indoor roll if you're carrying somebody around. Periodically.
I would probably spin around to kind of make the offer, because if we're like fighting things later, I'm not sure that I want Cujo
He's
like
bigger
hanging
than
on to
you.
him.
That's my only concern.
Cujo can take him. It's fine.
While they are tending to Hamilton, Chai is going to walk up to McCloud and say, I heard a metal cracking sound. Let me fix your machete for you. And I will attempt to mechanic the machete to get it back to full health.
You can do that, but that actually takes a couple hours. Like
I
actually,
assume that
the mechanic.
working on Hamilton would also take the same amount of time.
If you want to, yeah, we can say if you want to hang in here for a little while, like you're welcome to do that. But I was giving Helena's not doing like full sutures. I was saying like maybe 10 minutes for her.
Yeah.
Like 10 minutes for her
Okay.
to just go just literally to like to detach whatever was attached to him, and then just sort of stitch up like a wound really fast, which I don't think that's going to take forever, or like staple gun it or something like that.
Okay.
But it's up to you all. If you all wanted to stop and do more, like you can certainly do that. It's up to you
No,
all.
I kind
No, we
of
can
want
keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much
And
did
then
you heal
can
me for
I
earlier?
hold him?
Just one.
So-
Yeah. So you're not broken. You can move around. You can perform actions, but you still have a broken leg.
You do
I
have
still
a
have a
potion
healing
to
potion.
take. Oh, can I try and hit his broken leg too?
That's going to require some time. I mean, like you're basically doing surgery. So if you're going to do that, I'm going to say that like then that means you actually are going to stay around here, because you're staying around here for a lot longer than just like a couple minutes, because now it's like, okay, I'm setting the bone, I'm finding a splint, all those types of things. You're welcome to do that. Absolutely. But just keep in mind that it will take a little bit of time.
We can move around and take care of it later.
You're going to be in a ton of pain. You're walking around on a broken leg.
Yeah. I feel
Can we
like
get a
should-
second baby Bjorn?
I think
no.
you should just kill him.
Put him out of his misery.
Just chop it off.
I mean, there is a badger in the other room that we could be like, hello, long time no see. No, I'll do surgery.
Okay, so you are going to take some time? Okay.
So
Yeah.
that'll give Chai time to fix the machete then.
All right.
So
So
I shall fix the machete.
go ahead and roll your
So-
test.
I'm gonna lay on the
Someone
surgery
can-
table.
Heal test, and then the mechanic thing is good. So
Can someone go check on our robot?
so do a comprehend. So I want a heal test from Ashley. Great job. So this, like, you managed to set the bone. You find enough stuff around in the area to help. Kind of, you're in a little hospital area, anyways. You can kind of create this little splint, wrap stuff around. It's really painful, but you're able to do it. Derek,
Is there any pain meds in this room or something I can drug him
yeah,
with too?
if you start going through the different cabinets, because remember, there's a bunch of cabinets both in this room and in the room where the other sleeping badger was. You can find some. You do in fact find in the previous room that there's a jar of painkillers, which is, you can drag it over from the right menu.
Okay.
So there is a jar of painkillers, and there doesn't appear to be like anything else.
Okay. And then while
And
I'm
any
getting the
usable, I should say.
painkillers, if I can like peek in on the other guy to see if he's awake yet.
So he does in fact come to. Like, so between the surgery, between trying to help Hamilton, between trying to repair this machete, searching around, we'll say probably an hour goes by, and a bunch of things are about to happen.
Oh God.
So the first thing that happens is that Hamilton wakes up. So about 20 minutes after you start to work on kind of setting this bone, you see Hamilton, like almost like like Frankenstein, like getting up, like full plank mode, entire back and rigid. And as they do, you can see the spine. There's all of these different like metallic pins coming out of their back, and they just move up and kind of like look around with this like empty look in their face. And you can see that there's like a whole quadrant of the upper part of their head that's just been replaced by metal. And they just kind of looking around, no sense of recognition, stares you right in the face. Hamill doesn't seem to have any idea who they are. You look up and you can see that, like, again, like half their head, at least like half their head on the right hand side, quarter of their face is just sort of been replaced. Some sort, it's like basically they've been lobotomized.
Hamill's just going to be like poking at him, like waving and poking and like purring and making all kinds of noises, and then like desperately running around Helena like she needs to do something else to fix him.
Okay. The next thing that's going to happen is that the badger that was sleeping in the other room is going to go ahead and wake up, and they're going to, what in the fuck happened to me? And they just turn over and like puke onto the ground. Is anybody in the room with him? Wouldn't be Helena, because you're working on McCloud at this point. And wouldn't probably be Hamilton, because she's probably dealing, or Hamill, because she's probably dealing with Hamilton. So are there any other three there to receive?
I guess I could. Yeah, I guess I could be in there just while I could lay the machete on one of the empty beds and just, tinker on it.
Okay. And you hear that he just, oh God, and just pukes all over the ground. Then he kind of looks up and he sees you. He sees the door open. Who the fuck are you? Oh God, I got the worst headache. Oh God. Oh.
What's the last thing you remember?
They've had me. Oh God. Hey. Oh. Somewhere new, it looks like. I've been in a cell. This dark cell. Smells like, I don't know, like shit, to be honest. They got a little bed, and they just let me stay there, and every now and then one of them robot types comes by and throws some food down on the ground in front of me, and sometimes they pick me up and carry me away. And he starts like twitching strangely, like, ooh, well, that doesn't feel right. Hey, you got any clothes? You can see my wee is showing. Because he is, in fact, completely naked.
I guess I could try and scavenge some random cloth or some random item.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Check in like the drawers or something.
Yeah.
Man,
I was reading-
what is...
I was reading through the rule book just because I wasn't sure how it worked, but just so we know that EMP rifle, I don't know if this is something that we'd be aware of with our comprehend, but our E-pack which is the energy pack for
Yeah.
the EMP rifle, is now depleted because
Uh,
Derek rolled
Thank you for
all
reminding me
three
of
on
that.
the first rolls.
I actually have in the handout
Even
section,
though I didn't push it.
Yes, it specifically states on the first roll.
I have in the handout section, there is an energy weapon guide. So, and I totally forgot about it, so thanks for bringing it up. But you can see like the little energy weapons guide. It kind of goes over it.
So we need to look for another E-pack, basically.
Yep.
Or recharge the one we have, which, according to the rulebook, not really anyone knows how to do that outside of the Labyrinth, which is
Hey,
convenient.
that's where you guys are. Okay. So yeah, so go ahead and roll your scavenge to see if you can find him some clothes.
I failed, so I'll just look around in the room and see if there's like
Sheets and
dressers.
stuff. So you just take like a pillowcase and just cut a hole in the top and just cut a hole in the sides, and he's walking around in a little pillowcase dress.
Charlie Brown.
So that's what happens. The next thing that happens is you all hear Sprax, who is down the hall, and Ringo, and who the two of them have been like arguing this whole time. And you hear Ringo shout out, I hear something outside. And not only does that happen, but you hear something at the door, as if the door is trying to open. And he is like holding on. He's like, help, as he's trying to hold the door shut.
I'll run over.
He's pulling
and
a
help.
door. Okay. So you.
Where is he at?
He's
He's
right
by
by
Sprax, you
right by
said?
there. I don't actually have a token for him because I totally forgot. But yeah.
I have a crowbar. Can I like maneuver it in the door handle in any way, or
Sure.
to jam the door?
Okay. So yeah, the door is definitely jammed. But whatever's on the other side seems particularly strong, as like you're watching as like the metal is very slowly like you can see it's kind of bending, and you hear a sound come from the other side, and it's an alert, intruders report, 3 observers offline, open, and like they're kind
Can
of
we?
like, yeah.
I'm gonna run and kind of tell everyone that there's watchers at the door. We need to try and find another way out, or prepare to fight, I guess. So I guess we can start searching for maybe vents that maybe we can fit in,
Okay.
or any alternative exits. I mean, it looks like they're all just dead-end hallways based on the map, but maybe we can look for any other way out of here.
Yeah. So you look around, and like there are vents, but from what you can tell from the map, and even when you consult with your friend Sprax, he tells you like there's really no other way. Like you kind of have to go out this fashion. Like the vent system, like it exists, but some of you are probably too big, and you're trying to drag 2 individuals now through it. Like the likelihood of kind of pulling through it, and plus Ringo is a fairly big dude, and Sprax is way too big to go through the vents.
I think it's time to set up a trap then.
And so you can see that you have maybe just like 30 seconds or so before like you can see your crowbar is just slowly bending. It's about to snap at something. So whatever's on the other side is very strong.
Can I try to make a trap of some kind?
I would say you probably already have some. I was looking at your abilities. You don't actually have to roll to make traps. You already have them because you took Trapper. You can literally just place a trap. So it's a
Do
question.
we want to
of-
use our grenade?
I'm giving you a chance to set up. So like, go ahead. And,
Okay, so I would roll hunt to set a trap.
and it's just the decision
Yeah.
of whether you want to set a hindering trap or if you want to do a damaging trap. Those are the 2 choices.
Well, hindering
During
won't really
surgery or
make much
after?
sense.
Well, hindering would just keep them here so that we can kill them, whereas damaging, they could still leave. That's how I'm interpreting that. So hindering would keep them here so that we can kill them, whereas a
Yeah.
damage, they could just do damage and then leave and go get other people.
I don't think they're gonna leave. I think it's better just to try and kill them.
I will roll a hunt. Sugar.
While she's doing
There
that,
is.
like I want to take the injured ones and like, can I put them inside the like, lockers basically?
Cabinets, but yeah, that's fine.
2 successes on the hunt.
Okay, so you were doing a damaging trap?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you'll put something right by the hallway there, so that when something comes in, it'll actually take that damage. It gets a move test first, and if it passes, it doesn't take that damage. But if it doesn't pass, then it'll go ahead and take that damage.
Okay.
At least that's what your talent says. Who else is doing something?
Is this after the surgery's done?
Yeah, I'll say at this point, because this all took. I mean, you guys have been lingering here a while. You killed 3 of their. You like destroyed 3 of their robots, and then something like things started moving about and kind of sat around here, did some stuff, and sounds like something or someone came looking for these 3 robots.
I wonder if it's possible to use the scrap of these robots as some sort of makeshift armor.
Probably not in 30 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say.
So one point of clarification before we get attacked by another robot.
Yeah.
With the energy weapon, it says if all gear dice come up on the first roll, does that mean like the first roll that you use the weapon, or literally any roll? If any roll ever has 3 explosions, it's done.
I think
'Cause
it's
I'm not-
I think it's the second thing. At any point, like first roll meaning first before you push.
Okay,
I believe
That's how I took it.
That's how I interpret that.
gotcha. Okay.
Which actually happened.
It did, but it wasn't the first roll. I just took first to mean literally the first time you use the gun as like a new person or something. I didn't realize it was first before like a push.
Yeah. Okay. Who else
Every
is-
time you use it, it checks to see if the battery would be depleted or not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we haven't been using any other types of guns yet. Oh, speaking of which, you have a gun, don't you? We never got your revolver for you. So you want your revolver stats? Let's see.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I'll grab it for you. Pulling it up right now. Siamese.
What kind of? I'm just gonna observe what type of trap it is, and I'm just gonna try and set myself up in the doorway behind Sprex. I'm gonna kind of put Sprex between me and the door.
Yeah, you would
and
be
then
able
just behind
to
the
easily
trap.
avoid the trap, so it's not a problem.
Okay.
Like, you know where it's at. 1 sec long. Just pulling it up now. Yeah.
I am using Sprex as my cover right now.
Gear bonus 3. Weapon damage 2. Short range. And I'll give you... I can't remember if we had an amount of bullets. I'll give you 9 bullets.
Yeah, I think I had it written down.
You already had the bullets down? Okay, so
Yeah.
ignore the 9, but there you go. That's the +3 gear bonus, +2 damage short range. Okay, so go ahead and position yourselves accordingly then. Like, where would you all be kind of positioning yourselves within this room?
There's a section for how much like strength different types of cover has, but I can't find it. Do you have it by chance?
Probably. 1 sec.
This is
Remember,
the combat
it's like
pattern?
I think it's on, if you've got the
oh, I
PDF.
found it. Shrubbery, furniture,
Yeah,
wooden door,
79.
tree trunk, brick wall.
Yeah, and that's all just like, that's just typical. Like, we can,
Yeah.
that's totally like, we can adjust it. Like, you could set up some such for cover if you wanted. So, I mean, you like you said, like I said, you have like 30 seconds to a minute, so you have time to set up, but not long. Like, Hamill has committed her time for setup to placing a trap, so everybody else can do something here.
I would have
like-
brought Hamilton into this room with me. I can't drag him.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm gonna drag like a bed outside of the room and stand in front of it, but it's gonna be like kind of a little bit of cover for anyone who's behind it.
Okay, so let's furniture. So we'll say 3. Okay, so I'll draw a little thingy on the map. There we go. So there's like a little bit of cover there. All right, what else? So Cujo dragged something out. McCloud, is there anything in particular you're doing during this little prep? You guys know something's coming through here.
Oh no, I'm just gonna prepare myself for the encounter.
Okay.
You know, like load your weapon or something, have it prepped.
Right, it should be loaded. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll
Okay,
assume
so-
all of you can easily. If you have weapons that have loading properties, you can go ahead and load your weapons. No problem. Okay. So then, at a certain point, you can see that the crowbar just bends so heavily to the point where it just kind of rotates slightly and falls to the ground, and then the door snaps. And pushing open, you all watch as something you are very familiar with. Actually, I shouldn't do that.
Sentinel time.
Wheels into the room. Sorry. There we go. As you see, wheeling into the room is a sentinel, and you can see that hovering around it are these 2 drones that are flying just behind.
Shit, it can fit in here?
Yeah. This is
Oh.
like, this is understand that this is a facility that's designed for these things, and so it probably wouldn't make sense for them to design hallways that couldn't necessarily fit the very things that it's designed to house. So I'll use the same initiative scores because I don't want to re-roll them because that takes too long. And so I'm just going to roll my new scores for my drones. I'm going to put my drones on 1, so they'll go together, and I'll put the sentinel on another, and then we'll start from there. So drone, sentinel. So drone will be pretty early, and then the sentinel will go. Okay, so the drone is on 4.5, and then the sentinel is going to be on, or excuse me, 5.5, and then the sentinel is on 4.3. All right, so the first up is, I'm going to say, because you all are ready to go, you get a round. Okay, so you're popping in, like they burst through, and so I'm going to let all of you just kind of go.
Remember the trap?
And you can go. It's not their turn yet, so I'm just not going to have the trap trigger yet until after you all get to go. So go ahead, and it'll be Derek and then Long. So we'll go in that order. Like the 2 of you can go ahead and do something as the door busts open. You're ready for this. It's like it's like sort of. It's not so much setting an ambush. It's just kind of holding your action until the door busts open, and then you're ready to go. So Chai, what do you want to do? And then McCloud.
So I can see the sentinel in both drones then?
Yeah.
All right, then I'll just shoot one of the drones with a fire arrow.
Okay.
Then
I'll say that it's probably easier for you to hit the sentinel because the sentinel's kind of out in front busting through, and the drones are kind of hovering around or next to it, and so you probably have a bigger and easier shot at the sentinel. You can still shoot for the drones, but I'm going to give the drones like some cover, like a bunch of cover actually, just because of just how much stuff is in the way. But the sentinel, you can go bananas on, no problem.
All right, I guess I'll change it to the sentinel then.
Okay. Okay, so that's a success. So you didn't, I'm assuming you don't want to push. So I'm going to roll its armor as it's going to come in, and unsuccessful on its armor. So you'll see, so I 10 freaking armor and I couldn't roll a single 6. And so yeah, you do 1 damage to it.
And then, so the kerosene lamp that has now 3 uses left, since it's a flaming arrow, did we determine if that does it make it 2 damage, or does it do something else, like light it on fire?
It's like kind of like lighting it on fire type of thing is what I was treating it as before.
Cool. Okay. And how did that mechanic work? Is it just like damage over time?
Yeah. So basically, like if they want to like put it out, they can, or they just have to suffer it. So like either they're burning an action, like they're wasting one of their actions to set it out, like a maneuver to sort of actually do something, or they just have to take it.
Okay.
So then it's your turn there, Long. What do you want to do with McCloud?
Blast him.
Pop out of this doorway.
Okay.
Just pop him with the revolver.
All right, go ahead. Same deal. It's easier to hit the sentinel, but you're welcome to try to hit one of the drones. It's just going to be higher cover for them as you're shooting through a bunch of folks.
I'll shoot the sentinel.
Oh, I should switch over the music. We're back to like fancy time, fancy fast time.
Scary music.
All right, roll your attack.
Yeesh.
You shoot Cujo in the back of the head and he dies. You want to push? Break your leg again?
Long really wants to shoot someone
The
else
gun
in the back
explodes
that
in
runs.
his hand.
For shoot, if I push, it's agility damage, or it's still strength.
For shoot, it would be agility. It'd be fatigue because it's an agility attack like you're using range combat.
Gun's gonna explode in your
It's
hand.
been a while
dog.
since we played this. I know. Like though I was now I'm playing like 3 or 4 different like free league games. They all have those slightly different things. That, like I always like wait.
I
is
want
that
to push. I don't want to
rules or
waste this
alien
bullet.
rules? Then push. Take 2
Yeah, let's do
fatigue.
it. Let's do it.
Or more.
At least
Go,
two.
dude.
Oh shit!
Damn, son.
Wow.
All right, so that's a bunch of damage. And so as this thing comes, I actually do. I'm gonna roll its armor. So let's see. All right, so I do block one of those. So it comes rolling in, and it pushes it to the door. You see a fire arrow catches it right in like this perfect seam between some of the armored panels, and then as it's kind of looking down at this tiny little flame, McCloud just leans out from behind the door and fires the revolver right down, kind of exploding right in the chest. And you can see a rip of the armor as it's going to do more damage. So 3 total, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it's going to be, let's see, it'll be Hamill's turn.
All right, so I'm going to try again with spending a couple feral points for Hunter Instinct for aiming and whatnot. So I'm going to pick one of the drones. No, I'll pick the Sentinel. So let me roll my 2d6 to make sure nothing bad happens. So how do you roll 2d6?
Click it twice.
Just, yeah.
Click the D6 twice and then hit roll.
Got it. Oh, wait, no, that did 3. Why did that do 3?
Because
You can edit it in the chat box.
Yeah, you can just type /R 2d6.
And then...
4 and a 3.
All right, so I'm good. So now I'm going to shoot with sling.
Go for it.
And get
Ooh.
3 damage with
Okay.
my little sling. And I actually need to roll extra because of that, so... That's not a success. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll its armor.
Make sure I'm getting
It'll
all the
block one of the
benefits.
damage, so it'll take 2, but the damage is done. Like this pestering as hail of bullets and arrows and such as the door flings open, and this sentinel. And despite all its armor, you manage to find little parts where you can kind of just thread the needle and get this in there, and it seems to have been kind of powering down right in the middle of that door.
Sweet.
Helena.
I'm gonna. So it's dead.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to. It's not dead. It's a robot. But
Well, yeah.
it's doesn't seem to be functioning anymore.
Okay.
All the while, Prax is like very confused, like about why you continue to attack robots. Very confused. Like Kronos will not be happy about this. Please stop attacking my brothers and sisters. This is unfathomable. So what would you like to do, Helena?
I'm gonna lean out the doorway that I'm in and shoot at one of the drones.
Okay. Go ahead. Now the big old body of the Sentinel's still there. It's not gonna go away, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. 1 success.
Okay. So I'm gonna give it some cover and such, and see if you can kind of get through everything. And it does. Yeah. You try to throw the needle, but at the last second, like it just manages to slightly dip out of the way, and the bullet just kind of clinks off of one of the shoulders of the Sentinel, and doesn't quite land.
Okay.
All right, so then it'll be after that. It'll be, I think it's Logan. You're the last one to go.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
I'm gonna maneuver to the closest drone that I can see,
Okay.
and I'm gonna swing away.
All right, so you step kind of right up into the doorway. It's right there. You're just past the Sentinel, who is kind of halfway into the door, and there's 2 of them here. So, yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna use my Predator.
Okay.
I'm gonna use 3.
All right.
So 1 success, which is normally 2 damage because of Weapon Master with my fangs and claws,
Mm-hmm.
or fangs and teeth, and then an extra 3. So I'm gonna roll 3d6 for feral points. I did get a 1,
got a
so I have to
1, yeah.
roll. I have to roll another d6.
Go for it.
Got a 5. So
Side is your animal side is completely suppressed, and your human side takes over. This means you lose all your FP, and you're unable to gain more. You can push as usual, but you can't gain any FP, and you cannot use the dominate skill. Roll a d6. This is going to last for 3 days.
alrighty.
All right.
It's not awful.
Your Dominator can't dominate.
He can't dominate. He can't use. He basically can't use any of his animal powers, and that's what Predator is. So what was the total damage?
If we're counting the Predator, it was 5.
Okay. And so does your Predator?
I think it goes through and then.
Does your
that
Predators?
happens.
What does this Predator say? Because some of them it says like you roll beforehand. I think. Looking it up.
As long as I get a success, each FP I spend increases damage by 1.
Okay. Yeah, you're fine. There's 1 or 2 of them in there that I was reading when I was typing them in.
It's an enhancement power.
Yeah, yours is just enhancement. So some of them are like reactive or triggerable. All right, so that'll destroy it. So you just come out in one shot, just rip apart the chassis of this drone without any real effort. And then it'll go to the top of the round, and it'll be Tchaikovsky's turn. The whole front of this area is like, you can see that there's just a smoldering sentinel sitting right there. Like, you can see Sprax is like out in the hallway beseeching you all, please stop. Kronos will get very upset. This is not the way. What do you want to do, Tchaikovsky?
I don't think I have any line of sight on the second drone with all the stuff in the way, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you can take a shot, but they're gonna have cover. You could also move up and probably give yourself a little bit of a better shot if you wanted to as well.
Yeah, remind me. I forget how much movement do we have. Was it 20 yards on our turn?
Yeah, it's 20 yards, or it might be 10 yards, and I think 20 was if you had fleet-footed, right, Ashley?
Oh,
I think you have fleet-footed. So yeah, it's 10 normal and 20 if you have that.
and each
No.
square is 5 yards, right?
Each square
point-
is 2 yards.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I guess I'll just move up to.
Yeah, you can get up kind of right behind where Cujo is standing on the
Yeah.
map, and you can kind of just fire it through that big stuff. So
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
I don't know why I put that badger there, but I think that's Ringo maybe. All right, go ahead. Take your shot.
2 success. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna roll again. Lots of different stuff in the way, so I'm gonna roll some cover. So I will be able to negate 1 of the damage, and so 1 damage will go through. All right. So yeah, you hit it. It just kind of, you barely clip it as it kind of ducks behind probably Cujo as it just you just barely graze it on the end, but you do hit it. Yeah. Next up, it'll be. Next up is McCloud.
Is there any room to get up in there?
Yeah, you could get up in there. Again, you have -2 to your move and a broken leg, but you're welcome to move up there if you want.
Actually, I wouldn't even be able to make a turn.
-2 to move is like a roll, like when you do a move test. So I don't think it
Oh,
actually
okay.
reduces your like how far you can go. It just means like if you were to get up there and then try to use a move test to get away, you would have -2 on it.
I see. Okay, I'll just get into melee range.
Okay.
You're not gonna blast him?
So anyway, I started blasting.
I'm gonna go with the old machete again.
You're attacking Prax?
Wherever this drone is, I'm not sure what it is.
The drone's like outside the door. I'll bring him in just to make it easier for everyone to see.
Oh.
There you go. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Alright.
It's fine.
Yo, that pure leaf iced tea is so good.
It is good. I drink it all the
I
time.
agree.
All right.
All right, I got the 1.
Yeah, and that'll do 2 damage to it, and that will just like you'll just come up and you'll just hack through the belly of this thing. It'll kind of collapse. and the immediate threat seems to have been dealt with. But Sprax, meanwhile, is just like on his knees, looking at like just picking up the different pieces of like and trying to fix like must repair. Kronos will appreciate Sprax's ingenuity. And maybe 20-30 seconds later, after you've all done this, all of a sudden the entirety of the hallway just turns like bright yellow as these different lights that are up along the walls and in every room just start like kind of a siren goes off and the lights go off as well, and you can hear all throughout just this cacophony, echoey alarm sound, and this loud voice, this female metallic voice comes onto like these speakers, and you're like kind of not 100% sure where this is coming from, but you can tell like that Sprax, like when the voice comes out, is sort of in awe of it, and is like kind of almost revering it, and you can see like he stops everything that he's doing and he sort of sets it down, but you hear the voice, and it says warning, intruders, remove yourselves from the area immediately or risk termination. And then it'll repeat a couple seconds later, but not exactly. You can see that the intonation is slightly different. And Sprax looks up at you all. It's like, you have angered Kronos. You have angered Kronos. She will disconnect you from the network. What do y'all want to do? And I'm going to leave this music on because this is some serious shit right now. What do y'all want to do? You've got one conscious badger who has no... who just put on a pillowcase with you. You've got one abomination weasel with you. You've got Ringo. You've got this now disenchanted and disillusioned robot. The lights are going off. The alarms are going off. There's broken robots all over the place. Your best weapon against them is now broken. You still haven't found true foe. What do you want to do?
Speaking of our best weapon...
Would I be able to scavenge and look for an EMP pack off of these sentinels and other robots we've destroyed?
I'll say this. We'll say roll a scavenge check as you start breaking through these things. And if you can succeed on your scavenge check, we'll say that you can maybe salvage something that looks like it could possibly work. Sure.
Can the can both of the guys move? The badgers?
I've literally failed every scavenge test today.
Yeah, you can't find anything here. Hedgeduck is like, he's like, can I get the fuck out of here, please? I don't want to stay here any further. And then the abomination that's Hamilton is just moving around and looking, and is not really responding to any specific stimuli. It's just sort of kind of looking off in the direction. When the alarm kind of pieces in again, looks up briefly, and then kind of looks back down. And you're not sure if it understands you or anything like that.
Yeah.
Can we have Chai ask Sprax to identify the E-Pack and see if there's a place where we can exchange it or somewhere where we can charge it?
We'll refer to places further deep into like sections 3 and sections 4, and like there's places down there that you might be able to in the robotics machinery labs and such. But I would not recommend you go there. You have angered Kronos.
Kronos has been angry at us since we showed our faces outside of
I don't know if we
our
should
own
tell
tribes.
Him that.
Ever since we started working here.
I think we should head to the cell block.
Yeah, we got to finish looking for Truffaut.
And when you mentioned Truffaut, like the badger that you had woken up, like Big Bear, right? Big
Yes.
Yeah, I know where he is. If we get him, can we get the fuck out of here, please?
That's the plan.
Okay. So you all start running. None of you, no one ever asked him any questions, so he could have told you this a long time ago. So yeah, he quickly, like, you bust the door open, you guys quickly run over, and I'm not going to. So I'm trying to put everyone together that actually needs to move and who's coming with it. You can see that Sprax no longer wants to follow you and is like staying behind to try to repair these these things, and you're bringing. So you got Ringo with you, and you've got the other ones. All right, so I'm gonna move you.
Do we need to hurt Sprax before we move?
It's up to you if you want to.
I don't want to hurt Sprax.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
sad.
think we need to.
Okay.
Don't want to.
Sprax doesn't seem like the combat type, so.
All right. So
I just mean he can identify us. That's
you
all.
run over and you get to this door that opens up, and Hezja kind of explains to you. It's like, okay, it's down here. I can't remember. It's there's a couple folks here. Everything's a little. I'm sorry that whatever they did to me is kind of ruining stuff, but I think he's all the way down.
Can I just yell down the hallway, Truffaut?
Yeah.
Just as loud as I can with my megaphone.
And
Oh, no.
you hear a couple voices shout back, one of which is Cujo. Like you hear Truffaut's voice all the way down at the end, but you also hear another voice that you recognize, and
It's a Large March.
it is Large Marge. And she's like,
Largo? Is that
Largo is her name. Yeah. Help, have you come to get us? And then you hear another voice right in front of you, off to your left, this like kind of squeaky little, hey, I don't know who Truffaut is. Can you get us the fuck out of here, please? Get me out of here. And we'll say, like, as you kind of step forward a little bit, you can see off to your left, there is a cell, and there's like this rat that has, you don't recognize them, you don't know who they are, none of you've never been to the rat tribe before, and you're not really sure who this person is, but they're just like, just get me, okay, come on, break the fucking cell, start this, get me out of here. And so, yeah, what do you want to do?
I'm going to run to Truffaut's cell first.
Okay, so you went all the way down.
Yeah.
Okay, and you can see as you run all the way down to his he's standing there, and he's like, he looks basically like himself. He's got some kind of new scars that he hadn't seen before, but he's got like his like little kind of biker jacket thing or biker vest. He's got his eye patch and shit. He doesn't have any of his items or anything like that, but he's just like, you shouldn't have come, but it is good to see you. And the doors are locked.
What can we see? What type of lock? Is it like digital, mechanical, physical?
So you're taking a
Just
look.
like a padlock.
Yeah. So like when you kind of look at it, it's like it doesn't have any kind of key or anything. But there are these like panels, like just outside the door, and there's like a little button there. And so you kind of maybe just push this button, you can hear a zzz, and suddenly the cell, you can kind of slide it open. So like out in front of each, like on the walls out in front of each cell, there's like a little button that allows them to be unlocked.
Once we have Truffaut's cell open, I'll run and unlock the two other cells, because the more chaos we can make, the better chances we have of escaping.
Okay, who else is doing stuff?
I'll try to get the little rat out.
Okay, so we'll say Hamill, you're moving up towards the rats. McCloud,
Is Largo near me?
You had passed her, and so
Okay.
we'll say Chai goes to her. Sorry,
Remind me who Largo was?
Largo was the ape.
Big orangutan.
Big old.
Yeah.
She was,
Oh, that's
she
right,
was the
okay.
gorilla.
Gigantopithecus.
The gorilla.
She was
Yeah.
the gorilla. The orangutan was the bad one. Largo was the one that was you were supposed to recruit, and then she got taken. Okay.
I'm
so,
gonna be keeping an eye on the hallway.
Okay. So you're keeping an eye on the hallway. Roll a scout test. McCloud, what are you doing? You're the only one I don't know.
Meet up
who's
with
doing
Truffaut. Be like, I've got something for you.
Okay, so you're gonna limp down. So we'll say you're limping down, and you'll get up to just as I'm gonna zoom this out so it's a little bit easier to see.
Oh god, I should not be doing the scout test.
Okay. So all of you are in this long hallway except for Helena, who's hanging back with the NPCs and is kind of listening. You don't hear a damn thing. Like you just like other than the like you can't hear anything. It's just this alarm.
Just like the
is just
blood
going
roaring in my
off.
ears.
It's just, well, there's an alarm, and you hear like at a periodic warning. It's intermittent. Doesn't seem to be like a perfectly paced. As that metallic female voice like continues to pop up from time to time. So we'll do these one at a time based upon the order in which I've heard them. So you open the door to Truffaut's cell, and so he steps out, and he kind of like clasps the two of you like on your shoulders, and he says, "You I've always said you were the best of the cells. We can't linger here. And you can see he's, I don't know, he's kind of limping a little bit. He definitely looks worse for wear. He looks pretty fucked up. What were you doing, McCloud, when you were running down here?
I'm gonna return his revolver.
And so he grabs it, kind of looks at it. Thank you for keeping good care of it. And then he like kind of spins it. Now let's get out of here. And he starts running, and you hear again the voice of the come on, like, in wanting intruders, stop what you are doing and leave immediately or risk termination. Chai, or actually no, I think it was Chai who I heard second. You open the door to Largo's cell, who's like right there and like in the shadows of the cell. And the minute you do, she leaps out, and you can see that much like Hamilton, you can see that the whole, like her whole back has been like reinforced with like metal and tubes, and she just leaps out and like does gorilla smash on you, and she's like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, and she just begins to smash you. So I'm gonna go ahead and let her get that off, and then we'll switch it into initiative.
Eric's been smashed.
So
Death
Good.
by snoo.
Gracious.
Oh god.
that's 2 successes. So that's gonna be 2 points of damage to Chai as she is.
Am I able to use my natural armor? Is
Yeah,
that like something I can use? Oh yeah, it's reactive.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's reactive.
good.
Yeah, go for it.
Just do my what you call it.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't roll a 1 the first time, so
Yeah, you rolled a 1 the
I
second
don't.
time. Well,
Yeah, I don't know why I rolled 2.
okay. So how much FP are you spending?
Just the 1. I can only reduce it by 1.
Okay, so yeah, the 4 is.
I was thinking I had to roll 2 dice, but that's
Yeah.
only if I had rolled a 1. I
Okay,
was getting ahead
so
of myself.
take 1 point of damage then. So you reduce the 2 damage down to 1. As she
And it's
comes
strength,
out,
correct?
yeah, and you can see that despite the fact that there's still fur on her arms, you can see that the fur is kind of covering up what almost looks like all of these sorts of cybernetic implants that have been kind of stitched into different sections of her arms, and she is just smashing down, and you can see that there is like this great and terrible sadness in her face that she does not want to be doing this, and she's just smashing it on you, and she's just saying, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'll go ahead and actually roll for her initiative now, and we'll see where that puts her, and then we'll actually go into initiative order. It's gonna put her at 5.2, so you will get to go before her, as it will be your turn, because you are still top of the initiative. So Chai, what do you want to do? She's
Can
smashing right on top of you.
I guess Chai in like panic would be like, where's the off button? Like just trying to see if she knows anything about what they did to her, like if there's a cybernetic I can pull out of her or something.
She doesn't, like, she doesn't respond at all. She's just weeping, absolutely weeping, and then intermittently she's like screaming in rage, throwing out apologies. She's saying things like, just kill me, over and over. You don't think that she has control.
All right, I guess I'll shoot her with a fire arrow.
Okay, you're gonna need to get out of physical. You're gonna have to get out of proximity with her though for that kind of weapon.
Okay.
So you would actually would need to make a move test though, I think,
Oh.
to get away. So make your move test.
Close out of. There we go.
Otherwise, she could basically just kind of stick with you. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna get away. You can step away. So you step back to Hamill, and then because you've got your fast reflexes or whatever, or quick fire, rapid fire, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
You can quickly load it and shoot. Oh man, dude. It's just.
Well, I don't have much else to offer. If I take another strength, I'm down, so I'm gonna push.
Hey, QWERTY, how's it going? Okay, so your bow, unfortunately, will break at this point. You can repair it later, and you'll take 2 points of fatigue. But you do, in fact, get 2 damage towards her. Let me double check. Does she have any armor? She does not have any armor, so you will do 2 damage.
Oh my god, what the fuck is this thing doing?
And then next, it'll be you there, McCloud. And you've just handed over your best weapon. You can see that this ape has burst through the cell and started smashing Tchaikovsky. There are always awkward moments, QWERTY. Chai was just getting beat up by a giant ape. They're doing a jailbreak, actually. They're trying to break out their boss, the leader of their resistance.
I can't get in range and attack. So
Hamill and Ashley are going to be next, so be ready.
I just limped to this door below me, see what that is.
The one below you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go up to it, you throw it open. And it's just, it looks like it's just some kind of like supply cell area. It's like it's not an actual cell itself, but it just looks like it's just a place where various things have been stored that have likely you think have probably just been taken from some of the captives themselves. So you see things like clothes and like basic weapons and things like that, or just little trinkets and pieces of scrap and such. So
maybe I'll search for like a ranged weapon, see if there's anything in there.
Okay. Let's roll a lot. Let's just see how lucky you are. How about that? That's the wrong screen. Nah. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be one.
You are not lucky.
Nothing. Looks. Maybe they moved the weapons somewhere else. We'll say you do find a bottle of something, like a little bottle. It's got like shaky pills in it, so you can pick those up.
Okay.
That looked kind of interesting. Other than that, yeah, nothing really good. All right, so then it'll be Hamill's turn, and then Helena, you're on deck. Oh, I'm sorry. I totally skipped Largo. Largo actually gets to go after McCloud.
No,
sorry.
no, we don't want that.
Yeah, she's gonna run down the hall chasing Chai, and the whole time, I'm so sorry, kill me. And she will once more swing at Tchaikovsky. And will miss. So go ahead, Hamill. You've now got a ape right in the middle of her. Yeah. Poor Largo. I feel bad. No worries. We're almost done.
There's no way we can make it stop.
You can kill her.
Aww.
That's about it.
Look, if you want to try to make peace with her, go ahead. But I think at this point you've killed a couple robots. You've got the attention of whatever Kronos is. You've got alarms going off. If you want to do that's fine. Like TPK is a very realistic possibility, and I'm not even joking.
Yeah, she'll probably make pieces of you first.
Hamill, what are you doing?
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize it was my turn. I'm going to spend my 2 to target her. I am going to roll my 2d6 to make sure that nothing bad happens. I'm doing that.
Are you stabbing her, or are you shooting a ranged weapon at her?
I will be shooting a ranged weapon.
And you're
at
gonna
her.
need to step away. So make a move test to step away.
Okay. I did get a 6.
Okay.
No, it's
6
a 1
is
this
fine.
time. That's right.
It's a
I
1.
always
That's
forget that. All right, so I will step away, and then I will
roll a move test, please. Okay. Yeah, you try to get away, and you feel a very half metallic, half leathery hand wrap around you, and you're kind of struggling. You can push and try and try to roll it again if you want.
If I can't move, then I'll just try
You can,
to stab.
you can push, and if you're successful, you can move away. But like right now, because you were unsuccessful in the initial roll. But if you want to push,
Yeah, but move is agility. All right.
it's the same amount of die you just rolled. All right, so you step away. You take 2 agility. You take 2 fatigue, as you have to like strain to rip your arm away from her. But you do step away, back out towards Helena, and you can fire back through the door if you like.
I'd have to load. So, I'm just gonna have to try to stab then.
Okay.
So
Well,
I won't
no,
try to move.
you moved. No, you moved. You declared a move, so you moved.
Okay, then I'll load for next time.
Okay. Otherwise, we wouldn't have rolled the move tests. Like the declaration of the move is so that you're moving. All right. Okay. So then next up it is Helena.
Yeah. So I'm gonna like yell for them to start moving towards the
Yeah, that's free. You can
ventilation thing we went in.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then load and shoot.
Go for it.
Because watching Largo just lumber down, I'm like,
Go ahead.
okay. I'm gonna push.
Okay. All right.
So
So
get 1 success, 1 damage.
and your
to my
crossbow breaks. Your crossbow's done, Zony.
Oh, it's broken. It's just 1.
You only have 1 gear bonus left, so every time
Oh, okay.
you push and you reduce the bonus, so it's down to 0 bonus. You can't use something with 0 bonus. But the damage will go through, so that's fine. Largo's still kicking, but the damage does go through.
Okay.
And then it'll be Truffaut's turn next. As Truffaut will lumber down the hallway. And now that he's got a revolver in hand, we'll go ahead and roll his revolver. I don't have a... Do I have one for him? I think I do. Alright, so I'm going to roll... Let's see. 5, 4... What did I say? 3 bonus, right?
Yes.
Okay. And that'll be a success. So he comes up. No, Truffaut is on their side. So Truffaut, with the gun in hand, shoots and fires towards Largo. And Largo... Was that enough? Down to 2 health. That is enough as Largo takes a bullet in the back of her head and just like falls down on top of Chai, and she's a giant gorilla, largest creature possibly in the entirety of Paradise Valley. Just like kind of falls down next to Chai and like reaches up and just kind of grabs you and pulls you in and just says, "Thank you," and just falls and dies.
Largo.
What
How
now?
could you?
What now?
I have no
Okay.
usable weapons. The dice have broken the EMP rifle and the bow, so I literally can't do anything in a fight. And if I take any more damage, I'm down.
She's
Useless.
it though, right? Was she?
She's down. She's down.
She's the final.
Oh no,
Yeah,
but
so-
I'm expecting more drones to come, so I
No,
want to
let's
get out.
GTFO. Let's run.
Okay.
Run.
So all of you, I'm gonna go ahead and put us back on drama. All of you begin. You run. You get the hell out of the cell area, and you start running towards where the ladder is. And Tchaikovsky's instincts are right. You can hear the sounds of drones buzzing up, spooling up below, and you start climbing up the first 100 yards of this ventilation. Now, who is carrying? Like we have there's people, or there's the NPCs. Like Truffaut can move by himself, no problem. The rat that you found can move them by themselves, no problem. Hedgehook can go ahead and also move by himself. What are you doing with Hamilton?
I'm carrying him.
Okay, you're carrying. So when
Yeah.
you do these tests, because we're going to be doing a couple of these as you're starting to climb up, you're going to have a -2 modification to your test, to your endure test to start climbing as you're carrying him on your back.
Sure.
So the first 100 yards.
Quick question.
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Can I call the elevator like down to like as like a diversion to make them think like, oh, they're in the elevator and they're going down in it?
You certainly can. Yeah.
Is it okay? I wasn't sure if there's enough time for that. I'll just do that while we're climbing.
I mean, I'm going to account for it though. I'm going to account for the fact that you're moving towards the elevator instead of immediately going towards the ladder. So it's your decision.
She'll
there.
probably be our last.
Oh,
person.
the ladder's not next to the elevator?
No,
Oh, never mind. That's a waste
like
of time.
the elevator
It's
is
fine.
the
It's fine.
elevator's
Never
at
mind.
like 2 o'clock, and then the ladder is at like 10 o'clock, basically.
Yeah,
on the
it's not
clock.
worth it.
Okay, so all of you then make a run for it. So you start rapidly. You can hear the drones. You all are familiar with the sounds of drones, the little light buzzing, and it's echoing even further. And you can hear the sounds of the alarms going off as well, occasionally getting quiet, and the buzz gets even louder. The lights are going yellow. You can feel like this intense cold just kind of like wash over you, like you get like little goosebumps on your skin. And you're climbing and sweating and climbing. You've got the abomination that is Hamilton kind of clinging to Cujo's back, just kind of looking deadly around. I need everyone to go ahead and roll an endure test. Logan, you're going to have to roll Cujo's with a -2 mod.
These are horrible rolls.
Not sure if I should push.
It's always
on.
weighted toward the bad ones.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's up
I
to
have
you.
a feeling I should not.
I mean, you all came
Push.
down here already. You've only gone 1/3 of the way. There's still 2 more thirds to go.
I can push these, right?
Of course.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
pushed.
push
I got
my
one
Is
success.
is everyone rolling endure with -2, or is my -2 just better than everyone else's?
Your -2.
Your -2 is better than everyone else's.
No one has any points in endure.
None.
No,
Jesus.
I have 2 strength and 0 endure.
Okay. Did anyone pass?
I did.
Did everybody else fail?
I did.
You all make it about 100 yards up, and it's just people are starting to. What this basically, like, no one falls. But what this means is, like, you can't go any further. You have to stop for a moment and catch your breath. Like, you hear, like, each one of you is just a minute, catch my breath. Like, as you're wounded, you're exhausted, like you're cramping up in your legs and your arms, and it's just you just take a moment. Now, Helena, you can keep going if you want because you passed, or you can stay with the group. What do you prefer to do?
I'd say like I was probably like first in with the other guys. So they're above me, and then there's me, and like I probably went up a little bit before I realized that they're not immediately behind me, and then I'll stop.
Okay, so everyone's then vaguely together, kind of clinging to the ladder as best they can, just catching your breath. And that's when I'll say, Helena, since you just declared it's yours towards the front, that's when you hear the sounds of as you guys are all getting your breath, and you look up and you see those giant fans that had been intermittently blocking segments of the ventilation shaft slowly are dragging across the outer banks of the actual shaft itself, and you can see
Damn it.
and it begins going. You can feel this gust of air beginning to kind of push down on you as it's sucking in air from above. And it's just nothing but noise now in the room as you've got the alarm blaring, you've got the sounds of the drones approaching, you've got this fan going off, and Helena, you're up there and you're looking at it like there's no way you can get through this. Like, if that fan is going, you just can't get through it at all. So
Crap.
what do you want to do, Helen? I mean, you're looking at, like, there's just, if anyone tries to crawl through that fan, you're gonna get cut in half. You do see
Was
that
there a panel nearby, like a power panel or something?
yeah, you don't see a power panel, but you do see, like, kind of at the center, sort of off to the side. It's not so much, you don't know if it's a power panel or whatever, but you do see that there seems to be like a motor that's kind of like attached to the, like, the center of the wheel itself, like where the fan's going around, that also has suddenly sparked to life while you were watching. And you would imagine it might be the thing that's kind of powering what's going on.
Can I try and like break it?
Okay, what do you want to use?
Is there a way to get to it without getting pulled, like sucked in, like hit with the fans?
The air is going down. It's pushing down.
Okay, so
I
like
can
if
give
I
you my
reached
frag
out for
grenade.
it, I wouldn't get injured by it or anything, or should I shoot it? Is what I'm asking.
So you can you reach
Or I
towards it?
can't
You
shoot.
mean? Like, you can
Yeah.
you could cling to the ladder and you can reach out and swing at it if you wanted to do a melee. Sure.
Okay, because that's all I have option to do, so I'll try and melee it.
Okay, so you're reaching out, and Chai did offer his grenade, but it's up
I
to you
feel
if
like
you want to
that's
do that.
dangerous.
Yeah. Everything's dangerous at this point.
I'm gonna try the knife first.
Okay. Okay.
One success.
And you manage to just, and you do, and you cut through it, and it sparks a little bit, but it doesn't seem to immediately, like, this thing is fairly sturdy. Like, you're stabbing into it with the damage. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm catching my breath.
At this point, I'm saying, like, the stopping to catch your breath allowed these things to come on, so, like, you can do something now if you want. That's not supposed to be Largo. I was just rolling a random d6. Sorry.
Can I try to do the same thing that she just did with the knife?
Okay, so you kind of crawl up as well, and you're leaning, and maybe Helena's kind of holding you by, as you're reaching out and you're trying to stab it as well. Go ahead.
Just give it a shot.
Okay, and you're just hacking away, and again, sparks are starting to fly, but the fan's still just somehow, like, it's struggling. Like, you're making progress, but this thing's pretty freaking sturdy. What else are people doing?
I'm just keeping an eye on below us, and if I see enough drones starting to make their way up, I'm going to pull the pin on the frag grenade and time it to where I drop it on them and it explodes right when it gets at the same altitude.
You see 5 drones flying up towards you. You all have climbed about 100 yards. You can see that they're just clearing level 1, which is where like the last which is where you first hop off, and they're coming right at you all.
Is the fan?
Yeah, I dropped the grenade on top of them.
Okay, so you're gonna drop. Cujo, what are you saying?
Has the fan changed speeds at all? Is it slowing down? Is it still just whirling away? Is there anything that we can tell?
I think you would be able to tell, like, the motor is still intact, but you've made progress in terms of breaking it. So mechanically speaking, so just from the way the game works, this, just like anything else, it has like a damage threshold, so to speak, and that once you've done enough damage to it, it'll probably work, but you just haven't got there. You guys are just stabbing it with knives right now, and this is it's like a big old, it's like 3 times the size as like a lawnmower, basically. Is what
is
you're
there
stabbing.
like a wire we could cut, like wires, like we can start cutting wires?
It's not gonna help in this case. You just gotta smash it. Like they're all within the casing.
Can I like stick my machete in between the blades?
Yes. I would like you then to make a move test.
Is it still -2?
No, that's for indoor.
Okay, just making sure.
Make a move test.
Jesus, man.
So.
Fuck.
Oh my gosh.
You reach your arm up and you put the machete in it, and the machete just immediately knocks off the blades off the wall and falls and scatters all the way down to the bottom of the shaft. I'm looking up really quickly because I don't remember grenade rules, so I was just gonna look up that. What are you doing, McCloud, while I'm looking that up?
How much is the health potion here for?
1d6.
There you go.
I'm gonna chug away.
Does the grenade? Did I input the blast powder or the blast power of the grenade?
No, I had to input it manually. It wasn't in the artifact list. I just typed frag grenade, so I knew it was in my weapons cache.
Okay. I don't remember what the blast power is. All right, so roll a scout test to see if you can time it. See how well you time it. To try to, and like we'll see if you're able to kind of. And I'll say, if you can get 2 successes, you hit all of them. If you get like a 1 success, we'll say you get like 3 of them. Okay, so you managed to get 3 of them, and so like 2 of them are a little bit lower. You pushed. You're
Sorry, I pushed
all
it.
of them. Okay, beautiful. And so the grenade drops and explodes, and it's going to do. So I'm looking at the explosions. We'll say blast power 6.
Is this an energy grenade?
No, it's just a
It's a fragmentation grenade.
Holy hand grenade.
Okay, so the force of an explosion is measured in blast power. When the detonation occurs, I roll a number of base dice equal to the blast power for each person, so in this case drones, within near range of the blast. For every success roll, they suffer 1 point of damage. The roll cannot be pushed. Victims at arm's length in the detonations suffer 1 extra point. So we'll say one of the drones will suffer an extra point of damage because it'll be literally the thing that gets hit by the grenade. All the other ones will just get whatever I roll. So I got to roll. I'm gonna roll 6 d6s here. Let me pull it up. So these are base die, and again, this is determining damage. All right, so all of them suffer 2 damage. One of them completely is destroyed and falls back down, the one that the grenade lands on. 4 of them are still moving up. They took damage though. They all took damage, but they're still coming at you all. Okay, McCloud, what were you doing?
I was just healing with push.
Okay, so you went and did that. So you're gonna try to are you hacking away at the motor more or what?
Yeah, that's what I would want to do.
Me? Yeah.
Okay, roll your attacks. Again, you're continuing to just hack and hack away. Any pushing from either of you?
I don't think I should, because that's a strength, and
Okay.
I've got like no strength.
So you hear crackling of whatever this thing called electricity is. You see that there's
I
some...
pushed.
Okay, so 5 field.
Oh my god.
That's
Ooh.
a hell of a lot of damage. Take your 1 point of
Strength damage.
and you can see as you are kind of hacking through this motor, and you can see that the fan has now started to kind of like shimmer a little bit, kind of seems to be off its kind of bearings, and it's starting to slow, but it seems to still have a little bit of power. These things actually have a lot of a threshold. Is anyone doing anything else? So Helena, Hamill,
It's still not dead.
is not dead. You guys have done a total of like, I think it was 9.
Yeah, and I can't push because I would instantly be out of strength.
I guess I'll swing at it too.
Okay, go ahead.
Now that I lost my machete. That should be 2 damage.
Okay.
Oh, that's endure. I should get an extra d6. Okay, so 2 damage total.
Okay. I'm sorry to tell you this, but it's still intact.
Damn.
I'm not making it up. McCloud, Tchaikovsky, what are you two doing? Tchaikovsky, you can see the drones are basically in range now of their laser weapons. So they're gonna.
I have nothing to do. I have no melee weapons, and all my other weapons are broken, so I just look at them.
Okay. Do you want to try to reach into your pack for something? Anything?
Yeah, you could try and scavenge, throw something.
I don't know if I'm allowed to scavenge weapons. Let me double check that.
I think you
It
can.
doesn't even have to
but it's
be
10
a weapon,
something.
right?
Yeah, I think you could do a weapon. I think we've done that before.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah.
You could just like
If he only gets one
Yes.
coffee
success,
maker on him or something.
if it's only
I
one
don't-
success, it's temporary. Though
Oh.
it's only as
Yeah.
a single use. If you get 2 successes, it's a permanent weapon.
That is what you
Okay.
can do. You can panic.
Jesus, man, that's just not your night.
Whew.
You want to push?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I'll climb into range of the drones if possible. If they're below
Okay.
us.
You mean you're gonna jump into range? You're
They're-
gonna let go of that ladder, fly down the elevator shaft, and land on the first one you can get to.
They're within long range of you. It's not a
Long
joke.
range?
They literally are within long range of you.
Just
I'm
keep
chilling.
focusing with us on the.
Okay. So
Ride or die here, I guess.
okay,
Did you
this-
try to do damage to the wall thing?
Is there space up there? Can I get through?
Truffaut will hand you back the revolver because he's trying to like hold up these other people. So you have the revolver if you want to shoot the gun at the.
All right, I'll use the
yeah, do
revolver
that.
at
It's
the
more fun
motor.
if you do it than if the
Yes.
NPC does it.
Fire away, Lonely.
Let's go.
Are you shooting at the motor? Or are you shooting at
The motor, yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, this thing is still sparking, but the fan has really slowed at this point. Probably one more good hit would definitely do it. And
Has it slowed enough that we can just time ourselves, or it's still like a risky
anybody trying to get through there is more than likely not going to make it out
Yeah. Okay.
because it's
Yeah.
gone from being almost like to just like
Yeah.
kind of going really fast now, and with how
Okay.
hurt everybody is.
Yeah. Just checking.
And again, this is only the first third. So these drones are going to come up and they're going to shoot. I'm going to go ahead and there's 4 of them. I'm going to say if I roll a 6, it's an NPC. Otherwise, it's 1 Ashley, 2 McCloud, 3 Hamill, 4 Chai, 5 Cujo. So the first one, they're going to fire at Helena. The second one will fire at an NPC. The third one will fire at Helena. And the fourth one will fire at Chai. Okay. First one is firing their laser long range at Helena. That's a success. That's 1 point of damage. Second one will fire. So go ahead and take your point of damage. Second one's going to go ahead and fire at, I think it was an NPC. So we'll say it's Truffaut. 2 points of damage. He can take it. Third one's going to fire at Helena again. 2 more damage towards Helena. And then the last one's going to fire at Chai. 2 points of damage towards Chai.
2 damage would put me negative strength.
Okay. So
you both
You're
get shot
broken.
and broken, and you start falling down the elevator shaft.
all right. No, you don't. You can hook an elbow. That's fine. Unless you have a pretty terrible block.
Yeah,
on
roll
what
those
I'm about to
critical
roll.
injuries.
So I don't have everything plugged in yet. So let me just do d6 times 10 plus 6. Oh God.
I think it did the
You kill me, Jeff?
multiplication first.
No, that's no. It's fine, Melissa. It's
Rest in
Oh.
peace.
the
It's
roll's
our
good.
first dead character.
So a
Yikes.
D66.
Yep.
And rolled a
Instant kill.
66.
It's a big one.
You guys watch as Helena is hacking away and hacking away at the motor, and then suddenly these drones come firing up, and right as Helena's going again, Hamill, you're closest to her, you see one of these lasers just burrow right into her head, and her eyes just go blank, and she lets go and falls all the way down the ventilation shaft. I'll say, Helena, you
Can I
get
hit a drone?
absolutely, but I'll say you get one word or one little phrase to say to Hamill as the two of you were right next to each other before you fall,
She'll just say, please live, and then she'll fall.
and she falls. And she will take on your way out. You'll just luckily smack into one, and you take one out with it. So there's only 3 left now.
Shit. Good luck.
This is the only way you can die in Free League games is by these injuries. D6. So
So what was my injury? I mean, obviously.
Crushed
my head-
skull.
Crushed skull.
It's instant death. So D6. Okay, this
You will
is
never
for
experience
Chai.
freedom.
56. All right, so 56. Neck injury. Oh my God, you are paralyzed from the neck down. The effect is
All right.
permanent.
Well, I'll just fall on a drone and die.
Do you want to as well? It's your
Yeah,
call. You don't
I'm
have
not
to.
gonna play. I'm not gonna play a paralyzed character.
If it's not healed during the healing time. So basically 4d6 is the healing time. So if someone could heal you before then, but it does mean someone has to come back and carry you the rest of the way.
I was gonna say we don't have a healer, and I don't think any of us have any potions, and we have to climb out. And
I have
wouldn't I be
multiple
at
potions.
Yeah, I
Oh.
have loaded up.
Derek, it's your
Wait,
call.
no.
I have no
Isn't it
problem
just
with saying
automatic
What's that?
paralyze?
yeah.
It says you're just automatically paralyzed.
Effect.
And then it's permanent.
He is paralyzed, but the effect is permanent unless healed during the healing time. So he is paralyzed right now, but it's a question of whether it becomes permanent or not. But I'm
I
perfectly.
guess I'm just confused how a paralyzed person could hold on to a ladder.
Given our
don't
current
like-
situation.
I don't see why we can't say that your legs and arms are are entangled in some fashion, and you have a wagon. that
You're just well knotted.
and you
if
have a
want to.
wagon tied to your tail, and like your wagon could get
Yeah.
caught. There's all sorts of ways that we could play it. It's
Kind of just
it's
up to you
entirely
if you just want to. Yeah.
We play it however you want to play it, Derek.
Yeah, we'll hold you. We can hold you if you want, or you can. fall
Or
on
if you
the ground.
die, we could be twinsies.
Yeah, I was about to say, like we're trying to get out. I don't think it makes much sense to go back down for me, so I'll just Chai can just die. It's fine.
Okay. So you guys look as these drones come swooping in, takes Helena out. You see Truffaut get hit, and then you see Chai, who's we'll say is next to McCloud. And same thing kind of happens, Chai. Like you get a moment to say something. Is there anything you say?
That's my buddy.
You can have my stuff.
Okay.
As it all falls.
And we'll
Aw,
say
With-
yeah.
I'm gonna honor. No, it's dying wish. I'm honoring that. Like so, we'll say the wagon somehow manages to get lodged in the ladder, and so McCloud can take the wagon, and we'll figure out what if you guys make it out. There's no guarantee you guys are all getting out. By
Yeah.
the way, we're not out yet. But Chai falls, and I'll do the same thing. You take out one of these drones. So there's only 2 drones left, and both of them look like they've taken some damage. So at this point, it's going to come around to the 3 of you that are surviving once more. You got Hamill, who's just saw Helena fall. You were right next
You're
to
just
this motor.
spattered with like my brain matter.
Fan.
Okay, so
Sole
take one more
focus right
swing.
now is the fan.
Cujo, if you wanted to, you can do the
Gosh,
same thing.
darn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna push and see how it goes. Oh my god!
Dear God.
I can't. I just. I
Cujo,
can't.
and with one final like desperate claw with your paw, you manage to just crush through the motor, and the fan finally begins to slow down. McCloud, you've got these 2 drones that are still moving up towards you. They're smoking. They've taken some damage by
I'll shoot at
Tchaikovsky.
one of them.
The heroism of Helena of Tchaikovsky have taken 2 out. Go ahead and roll your attack.
Oh my gosh.
I'll push it.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And they keep
Okay.
coming, and they're gonna fire. So I'm gonna roll another d6. I'll treat it. I'll roll a d4. 1 McCloud, 2 Hamill, 3 Cujo, 4 NPC. So first one will fire at Hamill. Second one's gonna fire at Cujo. So first attack at Hamill. This is coming in. It's gonna shoot the laser. It'll miss. Cujo, it's gonna shoot at you. It's gonna hit for 2 damage. And these things are kind of just hovering in the middle of the shaft now, just firing away. The fan has now slowed to the point where you feel more confident that you can get through. You can see that Hejjuk and Ringo are already who are probably bashing away with you or something. They're kind of climbing through. Truffaut is hanging back, kind of waiting for McCloud, hanging and clinging to the wagon as Tchaikovsky falls. McCloud, why don't you go ahead and make one more shot, and as you try to climb up and see if you can take him out. And with one final shot, you look down and you fire the gun, and you manage to catch it right as its laser was warming up, and it explodes, and it just shoots shrapnel off to the side, kind of taking out the other drone as well. And the two of them just begin to sort of fall down, and the rest of you go ahead and start climbing the rest of the way up. We're pretty far over, and I feel like killing 2 characters is probably much better than doing some needless endure rolls at this point. So we'll say that the rest of you do manage to climb to the top. You have Truffaut in hand, you have Ringo, you have a handful of these, you have Hamilton, you've got Hejjuk, this new Badger, but two of your group is now gone, and we'll go ahead and end there for the night. Whew. You have
Nice.
successfully gotten
Good
Truffaut out.
Lord.
But the cool thing is that means Ashley and Derek get to roll new characters. That can be fun. Okay. So let's hit the questions really quick for your XP, and then we'll dip. Participate, yes. Sacrifice or risk something for your tribe, yes. Sacrifice or risk something for the resistance, yes. PC buddy, who is
I don't even remember who I had
Yeah,
selected.
So we'll say no for that for now. NPC you want to keep safe, Truffaut, yes.
Yeah.
Sacrifice or risk something, NPC hate, no. Big dream, no. So it looks like 3. I'll say just take 4. Go ahead and take 4. Okay. And so that'll be it. All right. So we're gonna. I don't know when we'll be back with Mutant Year Zero. So you can follow me on Twitter at LollyGaggerCO, and I'll announce when we'll next play Mutant Year Zero. We'll probably be back next week with something. I don't know what yet. But follow along. On Monday, you can catch some of us anyway, over, if you like Free League games, we're playing Vessin, one of their newer games that just released this year, over on their channel, twitch.tv/Free League Publishing. And then on Thursday next week, over on Zweihander RPG, you can find us playing Zweihander. Tomorrow, early in the day, we're playing more Free League, also on the Free League channel. Me and Melissa, we're playing with Defenders of Cobalt, so you can check them out at... That's at 1 p.m. Central. And so lots of good stuff. So that's it. Thanks for those of you who hung out. Thanks for bits. Thanks for those of you who are watching this later. We are going to go and on the end screen here, I guess, and then I will find us someone to raid, because I'm sure there's going to be some options. So thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Night, guys.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Right?
Indeed.
Rip.